What's up, y'all? Now we have to keep an eye on YouTube and Instagram to make sure nobody drops out of the party prematurely. I apologize for everyone who has been trying to watch replays for this week on YouTube because apparently they're not there because they did not even record. Great. Oops. I mean, I try to tell everybody that I spend most of my time on TikTok, but nobody believes me. Nobody listens. But also, TikTok is hiding and attacking my content, so fuck them all. Fuck them all. Stop. I didn't listen. Her. Well, I'm glad it tells you when I'm on. That's good. That's good. We had a live, I think it was Monday's live, or maybe last Saturday's live. I think it was last Saturday's live, where I saw during the live a lot of people come in and a lot of the follow buttons hit, right? You know, it says so-and-so could follow the creator, follow the creator, follow the creator. And then I get out of the live and my number of followers has not moved at all. That was on Saturday, I think. Yeah. Good morning, Christina. So, and maybe it's more like on the analytics side of it. They're just fucking with what I can see of the analytics so that I don't think it's effective and get discouraged and stop posting free tools for everybody to heal themselves and find their own truth and personal power. Can't be doing that. Can't be doing that. Give me just 1 second. I have been so spacey all morning. I don't know about you guys. But I woke up early and pretty much have just been awake and in bed. Good morning. Motherwort. Ahaha. Right there with the heart. Okay, good. Spacey for a few weeks. Will, you too? You think it's the rain? I don't have any rain here. Unfortunately, I'd like some of that. That'd be real nice. Spacey all over the place. Just the general shifts, you know, as we continue to evolve, as we continue on our collective path. Again, everything that's happening for me is a micro version of a version of what's happening in the collective. Everything I experience is inside of me. It feels really dreamy today. Like I feel like I'm not quite here on this plane of existence. I might have left myself in a dream time somewhere. So beware. Good morning. I've even had coffee already, which usually makes me all kinds of buzzing. Okay. It is officially 10 o'clock. Look at that. Hello, hello. Bill, you fear the plan is to degrade the service until we give up. I think so too. Unfortunately, with this platform, once it got in our government's hands, we've only seen it deteriorate more. Hello, B. Helen. Good morning. I'm just waiting for the announcement to go into the Discord and let people filter in, and then we will sit with our mudra for a few minutes. We're going to use some pranayama today with our mudra. Kind of on the fence about which one. Where's my friend in here who keeps asking for Kapalabhati? Where's that friend who used to come in asking for Kapalabhati? Because I keep thinking about doing Kapalabhati. Do anything for Lionsgate. Oh. I forgot. I remembered and then I forgot. And that's probably why I'm all wonky right now, because tomorrow is a day that's what's happening. Because I've been feeling over the last week or so something ramping up to something deteriorating, right? In my consciousness, in my perspective, in the way that I look at the world and interact with the world, something is deteriorating. I had an experience on Tuesday and I made a video about it. And it's funny because after I watched the video afterwards and I was like, oh my God, you sound so arrogant. I felt like I sounded really arrogant. Self-judgment, self-talk. But I shared it anyway because it was really important. I was in the local bakery with my son. And we had gone in there when nobody else was in there. It's a small bakery. It just opened or reopened. And I went in to get, we expected to get like extra donuts, right? We grabbed some breakfast and some extra donuts, and my son was deciding whether he wanted donuts or ice cream. We were trying to sort it out, right? And as we're standing there at the counter, an elderly couple comes up behind us. And they look at the pastries, right? They're talking about their pastries. Like, they clearly probably only just want a pastry each and maybe a coffee and sit down and have their thing, right? I'm not taking, yeah. So, within just a few minutes, I guess, of my son deciding and going back and forth between his choices of pastry, the woman takes a couple of things, their drinks or something, and like reaches over me and almost leans into me to put her stuff on a countertop that was completely blocked off from where she was. I was standing at the register getting ready to pay, right? And you can hear, you know how it happens. You can hear them breathing heavy. You can hear the and I was sitting there going, it's empty in here, right? It's empty in here. It's empty in here. And part of me wanted to rush my son. Part of me wanted to pass on that energy that she was giving me to my son, to make him hurry. Now, for a moment I did. For a moment I did. Unconsciously, for a moment I did. I don't know what it was. Again, it's deteriorating, right? So it just, at some point, there was a way that I kind of saw through it and was like, wait. That's exactly the same feeling I've had before. I've been rushed. I've been hurried, especially as a kid, trying to decide. And, there's all these different options here, right? And so in that moment, I grabbed this mudra because it works with the heart and calms the mind. It cultivates a sense of tranquility. This is the mudra for tranquility. And it works with the heart. It works with detoxifying the body, right? And so I was like, okay, just one-handed mudra here in public, right? Just set it on my purse as I'm standing there at the register. And I just sat with it and felt back into my energy, grounding my energy, checking back in with my son. I could feel that the gal at the register now was also stressed. So I changed my tone to like lower the tone of, so we were all kind of coming back down to like, let's just chill. Let's not allow her energy to ramp everything up. I didn't, I finished my thing respectfully, didn't take excess time, finished my thing respectfully. And when we walked away and sat down, the couple really did just sit down and chit chat forever, for a while, hanging out, and then went walking away from the bakery. I was like, they weren't even in a hurry. Maybe if they'd been in a hurry, right? But what happened, right, was my mind kept wanting to pipe up and judge them. My mind kept wanting to be like, and we were sitting outside, and that song, Maps, came on. And that's all that song says, right? Just a little bit of that song. And a little bit of anything else. That's all lyrics, pretty much. Wow. Say, oh, say, wait. They don't love you like I love you, wait. And it just made me think, that's how we love each other now. We think that loving each other is to be pushy and condemning and judging, and I'm helping them by hurrying them along, by making sure they're in line. And even I do it when somebody cuts through the traffic in a way that's dangerous and illegal. My brain goes, I've got to do something to fix it. I have to fix this situation. I have to deal with it. But we don't. We can just hold space. I used to have no filter. I used to have no filter too. And I used to say snarky things. And I used to call people out. And I used to feel like I was doing the collective a fucking service by saying something to people. And sometimes, yeah, there are situations. Obviously, if somebody's pushing me, right, I'm going to be like, excuse me, please respect my space. But I don't need to hit them back with the same energy that they're pushing at me. You fight fire with fire. I can tell you, living in Oregon, you just get a huge fucking fire. Everybody gets burned. But if someone is willing to be the water, then we can start putting out fires, or at least turning down the temperature. That has to happen in here. You've got to be the one in the moment willing to put down your judgment and your justification. You've got to be the one in the moment to talk yourself down. Right? And say, is that really where I want to be? Is that the energy I want to engage in? Is this for me or is it not for me? Is this energy for me? Do I want to engage in this? Yes? Go for it. But choose, you know what I mean? Choose. You want to have road rage, you want to say something snarky to the lady for being pushy, you want to put her in her place, you want to do this, choose to do this, but know that you are choosing to do this, and there are other choices. Too often we go through these kinds of situations feeling like we are justified in flipping somebody off or saying something nasty. And again, I look at this woman and I say, she's someone's grandma. She's someone's mom. She's someone's, and there was a man there with her. It was like, she's someone's wife, potentially. She's like, people care about this woman. And maybe she's not the nicest woman in the world, but she's here for a reason, and there's a purpose for her being here. If nothing more than to invite me to do what feels most authentic to me, instead of lowering my energy and engaging in the energy she offered. What a gift. What a gift her pushy, dense energy gave me on Tuesday. And the truth is, it's liberating. Instead of feeling dense and stuck, instead of spending hours or days or even weeks, right, going over the situation in my head, thinking I should have said something, thinking I should have said something different. God forbid I see her in town again, and then there's this whole thing on my heart, right? Every time I see this person who knows, she probably doesn't even fucking remember me, right? Why would I do that? Why would I carry all that baggage? Why would I choose all of that? Do I want that? No. I don't want to give her any of that power. But she gave me the opportunity to be the kind of person that I want to be. It's hard to do in the moment sometimes, right? Sometimes it's harder than others. But when we can, if we can find a little bit of space, drop that judgment, drop that fear, drop the old stories into the heart and let it transmute into love. Offer somebody love instead. Breathe in that anger and frustration and exhale compassion and patience. The heart has that power to transmute our energy, to clarify our system. Jess, it takes intentional practice. It does. It does. But we don't need situations like that to practice, because we can practice with ourselves when we engage in this energy inside, right? When we go through those things, how do we meet ourselves? Again, everything that happens outside of me is just a mirror for what's going on inside of me. And everything that's going on inside of me is going to be reflected by the things that go on inside of me. So did I do that yesterday because I have been in so many uncomfortable situations in public that I've gotten a bunch of practice? No. In fact, I'm a bit of a homebody. I've been a recluse for the last several years, pretty much hiding away in a cabin in the woods. So I've had even fewer interactions. And maybe it's because of that, right? Maybe it's because of that I have more capacity for it. But it's definitely that I'm not engaging in it. There you go, Jess. It all starts with 5 minutes, just 5 minutes of choosing you. And more so than those 5 minutes of choosing you, what it takes is that when you are in that moment, when your voice in your head is rushing you along, pulling you down into that dense energy, that you have the awareness in that moment to be like, wait. Who made you the boss? Who gave you permission to be pushy with me right now? We can ask for patience from ourselves and then be that very thing. Because when we cultivate the feeling within ourselves, it's easier to tap into it when it's triggered outside, from outside. Here you go, B. Halen. I will remember this in traffic, at work, in the drive-thru, and wherever it is needed. Just for today, I will not be angry. Just for today, I will do my work honestly. Just for today, I will love my neighbor. What are the other ones of those? What are the other sayings of that, right? Just for today, I will not worry. Just for today, I will not be angry. Just for today, I will do my work honestly. Just for today, I will give thanks for my blessings. Just for today, I will be kind to my neighbor and every living thing. Just for today. You don't have to commit to being a good person for the rest of your life. You don't have to commit to every day being a fucking angel, right? You don't have to commit to every day being super productive. You don't have to commit to every day, because we're not static. We're dynamic systems. We are shifting and changing and evolving and growing and experiencing and all of that, rising and falling every day in our lives. So, what's the risk? What's the risk? What do you really lose, right? By choosing love, by choosing compassion. You don't have to do it all day long. Just choose once. What do you really lose by even taking the chance? I'm glad, Jess. Always find you with the right words for the day. Always find the right words of the day in here. Good. Honestly, I don't plan these classes. We work with our mudra. I usually add a pranayama practice, and the meditations we do are completely off the cuff. I keep notes, if there's notes I want to remember about the mudra, about something like that. But I do it so it can be authentic, so it can be interactive, so it can be real, so it can be engaging, right? For all of us, rather than me just talking at the screen at you guys. Sometimes I don't even, sometimes I don't even know what I'm going to talk about. Sometimes, like literally this morning, I was sitting there just staring out my window going, do you want to like look through some poems to have something to say? Because if you're going to be staring off into fucking La La Land the entire class long, it's not going to last. But the words are there. B. Halen, felt fear when you suspend judgment. What are you risking, right? That kind of thing. It is fear. We don't want to take that risk. Resonating with the universe. That's really what I do to prepare is I set my, intentional space and bring myself into this space. Thanks, sunshine. Resonating with the universe. And that's it, right? Is that resonating with the universe is our most authentic expression. And to be honest, fear is not. My pirates just shut me up because I was going to say fear is not a authentic expression, but that's not true at all. In my authenticity, I may be fearful. Being able to hold space for myself regardless of what emotion comes up. Being able to hold space for myself in a way that I don't weaponize whatever comes up. Yeah. Worrying is another form of fear. Yeah. I used to be a worrier, right? Worrywart kind of person. Because I truly thought I was thinking ahead. I was doing risk assessment, right? I was weighing pros and cons. We're always taught to do this. I was diligently doing so, considering all possible outcomes with this fucking Gemini rising in my brain. We're looking for every possible perspective of the outcome of the situation. And I would worry and I would worry and I would worry. But I felt like I was doing the right thing. I felt like I was doing what I was supposed to do in risk assessment, at least. And it was actually sitting out here in the woods, on this very piece of property that I caught myself worrying, and I just heard so fucking clearly, energy. That's energy. Period. How are you using the energy? Period. Like it was just this like stop with the what you're doing or the reason why or the explanation or the anything like that, right? It's just how are you using the energy on worry? And you're sitting there soaking up the fears that are involved in all that worry. Yeah, I am. Yeah, shit. And I've been doing that for the last like fucking hour, like staring at the stars, looking at the trees, thinking about all the possible scenarios that could possibly go right and wrong. And whoa, I did. I just fed fear, thinking I was being diligent. Good morning, Brittany. That's what broke me down. Only in letting go and letting flow, I am finding peace. Hey, Regal Poison. Fear is used against us too often to control. It's so complex on how to deal with it. Yeah. Sunshine, I'm going to repeat that with you. I am safe. I am home. I am free. What does real freedom come from? What is real freedom? What does freedom look like? Just the ability to move to different places, the ability to travel, the ability, is freedom external or internal? And if I cannot control the world, how do I guarantee, ensure my freedom? Is my freedom what I authentically want? And to what degree? Right? It's tough. Yeah, agreed, Jess. I don't know. That's okay. I don't know. That's a great place to start, right? It's like the story of the guy who goes to search for teachings from a monk or something, and he goes to find the monk, and the monk says, okay, well, tell me what you know. Well, tell me what you already know. And the guy, like, told him all these other things, all these things he's studied and learned, and he said, well, you don't have any space. You don't have any space left. You seem to know everything. There's nothing for me to teach you, right? He's like, no, wait. I think it's sometimes better to say, I don't know. Because then we leave space for curiosity and willingness. If I say, I know, well, then that's the end. Is it interesting? It's interesting that the word know, N-O, is in the word K-N-O-W, as if it's a stop. As if it's a break. I know. No. When we acknowledge that we do not know, then we can seek to understand. Acknowledge our ignorance, take responsibility for it. In a world that relies on your willful ignorance. Joe, know what you know, but know it is subject to change and keep an open mind. You guys know one of my favorite quotes, right? A fact is only a fact because it hasn't been proven wrong yet. That's the understanding, right? That speaks to the understanding that we know that we cannot empirically prove something always forever true. Because there's always chance, there's always possibility, there's always some quantum entanglement, something or other that one time in every 1 billion years, this thing is different. Gravity isn't gravity because one time in 10 billion years this thing happens, and now we suddenly realize what gravity really is, right? But for all the time before, it was a fact. And we keep trying to prove it not wrong. You can only prove things not wrong. Yet. But only if you're curious and willing to see that even if the duration of something has been around for a really long time, right? That everything has a rhythm, a flow, a beginning, a middle, and an end. And there is no right or wrong, there is only experience. It is our judgment, right? It is our judgment. Jess, it's one of the things I really like about this shirt. I feel like the shirt like doesn't like it's like, oh, it's just whatever. And then you see it and you're like, oh my god. That's how it got me. I saw it in a thrift store and I was like, oh, whatever, it's Star Wars. My son likes Star Wars, you know. I used whatever. Anyway, I don't really watch that stuff anymore. Anything anymore. And then I was like, no, it's too funny. I'm keeping it now. The more we learn, the more we realize there is so much more we don't know yet. And ultimately, the more we explore, the more we discover, the more we recognize how limited we are in our capacity to know and to understand. I can't know everything. I can't understand everything. Yet, in our arrogance as humans, we pay into the illusion that we can, and we do. But knowledge is power. So on the other side, sometimes that information is hidden and we don't have the chance to know. Yet. I see we're coming together. Yeah. Earth Angel, you took a writing class last night and it was so emotional. Do you want to sit with me for a mudra for a little bit, guys? let's tap into those emotions. So this mudra is the Hridaya Mudra, the gesture of the heart or heart seal. It helps release old stored up emotions. It helps purify, detoxify our blood and oxygenate our blood. It improves circulation. It can regulate your heart rate. It has been known to be used in cases of acute heart concerns. What else here? It balances the solar and lunar energy channels in the body, the nadis, the earth and ether energies in the body. It balances them out to improve the flow of prana through the system. It is the mudra for tranquility, so essentially offers tranquility to the entire system by clearing out this old, stuck, dense, toxic whatnot, right? Whether it be in your blood, your body, your heart, your head, whatever it is. So this is our mudra. We're going to sit for, usually we sit for at least 5 minutes. So we're probably going to sit for a little bit longer than that today. We'll probably get into the mudra for the first 5 minutes, and then I'm also going to offer some pranayama. I'm not sure if we're going to do them together. I'll just let the meditation guide, but I would like to add some pranayama to clarify the body even further. So if you've got somewhere comfy to sit, you can do this mudra while you're seated. You can do it while you're lying down. You can do it walking. Be careful, probably not driving. I mean, you could probably hold the steering wheel, but I don't want anybody blaming me for getting in an accident. I tried your mudra while driving. Hey. Okay. The mudra goes like so. Palms up and tuck your index finger. This is the element of air. Tuck your index finger in toward the little hammock of your thumb there. Okay? Somebody said this looks like the eye of Horus. Air index finger tucked into your thumb as best you can. Bring the tip of your thumb to touch the pads of your middle and your ring finger. Keep them extended, and then extend your pinky finger. Now, rest this mudra you can hold anywhere, but if you're going to sit for meditation, just rest it beside you, palms up. And once you place your mudra, go ahead and check in with it. Make sure you don't have any tension in your hands. You don't want to be squeezing your index finger. You don't want to be squeezing the thumb and the, it's easier to call them by the elements. Make sure you don't have any tension in your mudra, please. We say no more than the weight of a nickel in this space, right? So imagine the weight of a nickel, no more than that, within your mudra. Go ahead and close your eyes, and we're going to begin with 3 deep breaths to fully arrive for our practice. Begin by inhaling through the nose and pulling the breath all the way into the belly, and sigh it out. Inhale again, expanding the rib cage in all directions, front, sides, back. Big deep breath. And let it go. Once more, inhale to lift the heart and elongate through the spine, lifting through the top of the head. And exhale to melt the shoulder blades down your back. Go ahead and seal the lips and begin for a few moments following the inhale all the way to the top and the exhale all the way to the bottom. Just ride the waves of the breath, allowing it to settle into a comfortable rhythm, a little bit slower than your natural breath, but not so much that you're trying to gasp for air or catch your breath. Comfortable, steady rhythm. If your mind monkeys are very busy this morning or even just a little chattery, remember that the most important pieces here are our intention and our attention. Right now, the intention is just to follow the breath. And we bring our attention back to that part of the practice as many times as it takes with compassion and grace. It doesn't have to be perfectly quiet. It doesn't have to be perfectly comfortable inside. Presence is more important than perfection. It's about the practice. The practice of herding mental cats, realigning our intention and our attention. Stay with it for a few more moments. Following the inhale to the top, exhale to the bottom. Check in with your mudra, make sure it hasn't generated some tension, created some tension there. Relax any tension in your back, in your jaw, in your mudra, anywhere else you notice it, and return to your breath. If you'd like to stay here with this part of the practice, you can stay here as long as you would like. If you'd like to add a little bit of a visualization piece with the breath, I invite you to imagine that with each inhale, the breath comes through one nostril and then exhale through the other nostril. So this is like alternate nostril breathing without any assistance. It's just the visualization, the intention, inhaling through the right nostril, exhaling through the left. And imagine that breath coming up into the third eye space. Imagine as if you could follow it, as if you could see it. Inhaling through the right nostril, exhaling through the left. We'll go several rounds in this direction, and then we'll go the other direction. If you feel called to alternate, inhale the right, exhale the left, inhale the left, exhale the right, like that, feel free to do so. The focus here is the intention here is to visualize the breath moving through the third eye space. In one nostril, out the other. In one nostril, out the other. Focus all of your attention on this practice. See if you can just feel the breath on your upper lip. All of your attention, all of your focus on the breath as you inhale through one nostril, bringing it up to the third eye area. Exhale through the other. Kind of like the breath is flossing your third eye up there. Go ahead and switch directions when you feel comfortable. Or continue alternating the breaths. If you'd like to further intensify the practice, you can turn your eyeballs up to your third eye as if you were literally looking at it with your vision. Continuing to breathe intentionally in one nostril, out the other. Flossing the third eye with the breath. Take a moment to check your mudra, check your posture, check your chin, your jaw, your back. Release any tension and return to the breath. I encourage you to stay here as long as you would like or return to any other part of the practice. When you feel complete, I invite you to bring your hands together into prayer or to simply lay one over the other over the heart in gratitude for today's practice. Gratitude. Offer yourself some gratitude today for taking the time for self-care today as well. I'm really proud of you, and I hope you feel it too. Thank you for joining me for yet another Bhakti Bite session. A space where we can come together, learn, grow, and ultimately thrive. When you are ready to completely come out of meditation, please do so slowly. Offer yourself wiggles and stretches. Before you open your eyes, if you're in a bright place, one of my favorite things to do is to rub my palms together and cup them over my eyes and flutter my eyes open underneath my hands so the light is not so harsh. So that was our dang it. Hridaya. Hridaya. My tongue's not working today. The mudra for tranquility. You tuck in the air finger, the index finger. Bring the thumb to touch the middle and the ring and keep the pinky extended. This is the Hridaya Mudra. The mudra for tranquility. This mudra is interesting because it brings the fire element to the solar and lunar energy channels in the body. So, as you sit with this mudra, you may notice that it gives you a full body kind of experience. You're very welcome, guys. It improves circulation, it balances the heart rate, it relieves stuck, stored emotions, it detoxifies the blood, and it balances the heart chakra. So whether you feel like you've got a really big open heart chakra or it's a kind of tight closed feeling at the heart, this mudra will help to balance it out. And this mudra can be held in any position, so it's one of those nice passive mudras. You can be out doing stuff and Right to left breathing. Wanting to show your value has been a bit damaging. Hey, Nikki, I appreciate you too. Tell me more, B. Halen. Wanting to show your value, wanting to prove your value, right? In the external, I imagine. With that right and left breathing practice too, anybody who is interested in improving their intuition, connection to their guides, that kind of space, even just mental clarity, right? You want to improve your third eye. That practice of visualizing the breath coming up through the nose into the third eye space and back out the other side. You can do it just like alternate nostril breathing, back in the left, out the right, in the right, out the left, back and forth and back and forth. I appreciate you guys too. That one's really good for the third eye. Really good for the third eye. But remember, we can use the breath like that, like a tool, right? Flossing the third eye. We can do the same thing with the heart, with the root, with anywhere in the system. We can use the breath like water to clear out the space. Maybe I've been using so much of this mudra that it's just put me into like a permanently something state. Yes, B. Halen, the desire for external acceptance can turn into self-abandonment, 100%. When we turn that much energy outward, right? Pushing that much energy outward, what do? What will we neglect? The energy we need to receive. Tori Beth, hey! My brain monkeys are crazy lately. I feel that, Tori. I always say too, if you are somebody who says you can't meditate or have struggled to meditate in the past and don't know what's going on and you're like, what am I doing wrong? I can't meditate. That used to be me. Stick around in here because we do really simple meditations and I teach various tools for meditation. Meditation is a personal practice. It is a muscle. It is a skill. It is a habit you build. It is not something that is just close my eyes and I just shut all the mind monkeys up and ta-da, I did it right. And it's the intention of meditation also, thank you friend, the intention of meditation also is not just to create perfectly quiet space in the head, is to be present and explore your inner cosmos, right? There's so much available through mindful practices long before you get to Zen meditation. But it all starts here, right? It starts those 5 minutes every day. It starts with recognizing where I'm sending out my energy for external acceptance and abandoning myself. It's the exploration of noticing, gaining the awareness to notice when I'm triggered and I'm operating on a repeat pattern based on my physiological programming. It's having the curiosity to see what would happen if you started talking nicer to yourself. Just to see what would happen if you spent 5 minutes every day hanging out with just you. You deserve some one-on-one time with you. You should be your biggest fan, right? You always got to give your biggest fan VIP treatment. Be your biggest fan. Only you can take care of you in the absolute best way you need. And Bill, is there a difference between a mind monkey and a pirate? For me, there are, yes. For me, there are mind monkeys. That is just like the chatter that occurs sometimes in the brain. And the pirates are typically more, what's the word I'm looking for? They're more of a character through using internal family systems. I have created pirate characters out of each different aspect of myself so that I can remove myself from being that part of self and instead be able to have a conversation with myself about myself. Me, myself, and I. Over the years, through storytelling and poetry and things like that, I have developed these characters. And so when I refer to my pirates, that's who I'm referring to. I'm referring to the characters that have manifested within me through my internal exploration of myself, through meeting myself every day, through discovering these different parts of me. Mind monkeys, on the other hand, are just this general like buzz that happens in my brain when the mind monkeys are there. It's like they don't even, again, this is just for me. This is just for me. You guys can take the analogy and do whatever you want with it. But my mind monkeys are more like the static that occurs. Sometimes there's just like a shit happening in my brain where I'm like, can somebody turn the fucking radio off? It's clearly not getting a signal. The trick with mindfulness is to use the tools available to get that so that you can hear that little voice back there going, hey, hey. The body whispers. Our guides, right? Our internal aspects of self, especially the most vulnerable pieces of self, often whisper. I talk about my pirates and my pirate ship and my internal exploration and my journey to finding my captain. When I found my captain, of course I was mad because I was like, where the fuck have you been? Like, we've been running into storms, these fucking ego characters have been destroying the ship, like this has been a fucking mess. Where have you been? And I got this really clear, like, just waiting for you. Where is your higher self? I don't know where my higher self is. I don't talk to my higher self. I can't hear my guides. Where is it? Waiting for you. Where is hope? Waiting for you. Where is trust? Waiting for you to show up for it in here. When I found my captain, I realized my captain, the wisest version of self, this is not going to come out and fight with the pirates to be heard. We all have this wiser self, wise self. I shouldn't say wiser, but anyway. Wiser self, wise self, that knows how to read the compass, that knows where we're going, that understands the bigger picture of life and this life and creation itself. We can tap into that universal knowledge, that collective understandings. These things really are available within us. But youth, do you really think that the captain, the wise captain who knows how to get us out of this mess, is going to sit there and get into it with the pirates who are just fucking throwing shit at each other like monkeys? Now I messed it up, Bill. On the ship. No, they're going to sit back and wait for the damn pirates to fucking figure that shit out, calm the fuck down and listen. Your captain will wait an entire lifetime for you. While your ego characters fight and push and pull for authority. None of them really having the authority. None of them really having the skill and the understanding that your captain has. But I didn't find my captain anywhere outside of myself. Nobody else could find my captain for me either. It was in those moments of acceptance, those moments of surrender, that I found hope, that I found trust, that I found love in a way that I had never experienced before. As annoying as it is, I swear it's true. You don't know love until you love yourself. Not some of yourself, not this part or that part, not love this, love the right, love the sinner, not the sin, something like that. Like, no, but every part of yourself. When you can hold space for the road ragey part of yourself that's really fucking pissed off over something stupid. And not have to weaponize it, not have to let that ego part of yourself drive your ship into the cliffs or into a storm and fucking destroy things. That's how we break trust with ourselves. When we repeatedly let our impulses drive us into suffering. And then we wonder why I'm suffering. Well, everybody else is against me. The world is against me. It's everybody else's fault because I'm constantly pushed and pulled by my energy. I'm triggered. Well, it's your fault. I'm triggered. Actually, it's my responsibility to manage my responses, nobody else's. And if I mismanage them to such a degree that I can be so easily poked and prodded by little things occurring, or even big whatever occurring around me, well, I'm also not really free at that point. I'm just a victim at that point of my circumstance, of the world, and I'm powerless. Stuff tough. Shiva destroys, created something new every time. Because it's a constant cycle. Behalen, I'm going to repeat that one. I love and hold myself in all my facets, wholly and completely. This is why it really helped me to create a story around it and to create characters, because it's hard to love myself when ultimately I am genuinely judging myself. Like, there are ways that I'm still judging myself and unraveling shit. But when I first started working with internal family systems, I separated myself into just like the me, myself, and I. Me, the angel, or the angel and the devil on the shoulder, right? We have this concept in the culture. We talk about it, we tell stories about it, we joke about it, we got cartoons and stuff with it in it. The devil on the right side, the angel on the left, right? I was like, at the very least, right? I know I have sides. Hell and hope. And I was able to sit across the proverbial table from hope and talk to her. I was able to negotiate power struggles with hell, make agreements with myself. It's the strangest thing. You go through the process in your own mind, in your own presence, in your own reality, and make agreements with yourself, and then stick to them. There's a feeling. Self-trust has a feeling. Maybe it's a mix of self-trust and self-love. It's a feeling maybe of disbelief a little bit, or of something new and exciting. Or maybe it's the feeling of curiosity. Or maybe it's that feeling of a miracle happening, feeling like it's happening. When we go so long feeling unloved, unworthy, unimportant, and then we start giving ourselves the very things that we have been missing all of our lives, and it works. And it works. It changes everything. It changes everything. So for those of you who are new here, hello. My name is Reverend Deborah. I am an interfaith minister, a movement facilitator, and your shenanigan shaman. And today, this is our Bhakti Bites class. Bhakti means devotion. So devotion to what? Just devotion to self-care. Because you deserve every bit of the stuff that you give to other people. And you deserve every bit of the love and compassion and trust that you want. The trouble is we've all been told that we have to go seek it outside of ourselves. It's like trying to find the chicken before the egg is hatched. And what do? We put ourselves at the bottom of the to-do list. And when life gets busy, the day gets full, other people need us, what's the first thing we go, fuck it, I can't get to that today? We take for granted the fact that we're always here with us. And we assume that everything's honky-dory, right? Unless there's like a major pain or something like that, I can just ignore whatever the internal processes are happening because my body is just a meat bag and it just functions, right? It doesn't have any kind of intelligence. Actually, the heart has synapses like the brain does. So the heart can create habits like the brain does. Synapses are what the brain does when makes connections with when you learn to walk, to talk, to breathe, to eat, to ride a bike, or do something more. The heart has the same material. But yeah, it's just a muscle that's meant to pump blood through my body. Right? My heart also has defibrillator cells. Yeah, I'm just so isolated that anything and everything I'm nearby is constantly interacting with my heart on an energetic level. But yeah, I'm not connected. I'm just an isolated thing. This is just an unintelligent meat bag. My focus is just singular and only external. If I can't see it, taste it, hear it, smell it, it doesn't exist. Feel it, doesn't exist. Joe, all I hear in response to your comment is Michael Jackson singing A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, baby, you and me, girl. So thanks. Someone recently said, I want to go back in the past. I want to go back in time, but I know I can't. But the truth is that we can. Hey, C. Victrola, how are you? We can. Time is relative. Time and space are relative. Time and space are relative to light. Time and space are relative on a quantum level to the observer, to my observation. My simple act of observation affects time and space when my observation is focused. And then away, it affects it somewhere else. My awareness has an effect on time and space. That's why sometimes we talk about quantum mindfulness in here. Because when you start to experience the shifts inside of yourself, when you start to experience the changing of internal space and the slowing down of time as it happens around you. James, have a great day. This is why I love mindfulness and why I talk about mindfulness as an everyday practice, as a habit we cultivate so that we can be present with ourselves in each moment. Because yeah, you might have a good practice of doing yoga 3 times a week and going for a run every morning and stuff like that. Those might be really good practices. But my question to you is, when you're in that moment, like I was yesterday with somebody in the bakery pushing you out of the way so they can hurry up and go sit at a table for a while. See, there's part of me that's still judging her for it. So I'm working on it. How are you going to handle that? How do you handle that situation? How are you going to meet yourself? Are you going to be able to use the tools that you're practicing? Or is your trigger going to take over and you're going to do or say or behave in a way that doesn't feel aligned with who you want to be? We've all had that experience. You said or did something that you're like, I can't believe I just did that. I can't believe I just said that. I'm so embarrassed, right? Or something to that version. Or the opposite. They fucking deserved it. I had no choice. Do we want to be pushed and pulled? Hey, Kimber. Do we want to be pushed and pulled by anxiety or fear or somebody else's energy or anger? Or imagine if when those energies rose within you, you could sit across from them like a friend who just came to call. Hi, anxiety. Hello. What's the purpose for your visit today? Well, actually, you see, anxiety is almost always going to tell you. You see, this one time, something like this happened. Do you remember this time that happened? Do you remember where this time it happened? Or what if this happened? And what if this happens? And what if this happens? What if this happens? Sometimes with anxiety, I do play the what if game. I'll go, okay, what if somebody we don't like is in there? Okay, well, what if? Then I promise you I will walk to the other aisle. Okay, deal. Right? We can meet these reactions as they rise. And we can hold space for them. So, Kimber, would you like to join me? We've been using this mudra all week long. I'd love to share it with you. It's the mudra for tranquility. It works to release stored emotion. It works to detoxify the system, balance the heart rate, purify the blood, oxygenate the blood, and improve the lung capacity. It also balances the solar and lunar energies in the body, increasing the flow of prana through the entire system, and it balances the heart chakra. This is a good one. So, this is how we do the mudra. You can do it with one hand or with 2 hands. It's totally up to you, and you can hold it wherever is most comfortable. I'm going to go ahead and rest it on my lap, but we're going to sit for just 5 minutes with our mudra. Tuck in your index finger into the hammock of your thumb. Bring the pad of your thumb to touch the pad of your middle and ring finger, and keep your pinky extended. On the other hand, same thing. Curl in your index finger. Bring your thumb to touch your middle and your ring. Extend your pinky. And remember, we want to hold our mudras with intention. No more than the weight of a nickel. Not tension. Nope. Don't press. Don't squeeze. Don't pinch. We find the mudra as close as we can get to it. And then rest it either in your lap or wherever is most comfortable. We're going to spend just 5 minutes. If you can close your eyes, I encourage you to do so. The only important things here in this space are the breath and our attention, our intention and our attention. Our intention is just going to be to sit with this mudra and listen to the breath. Listening to the breath. Eyes closed, holding the mudra. Allow yourself a few deep breaths to settle in as we sit and wait for the delicious effects of this mudra. It takes about 5 minutes for the energy to circulate all the way through the system, which is why we sit for 5 minutes at least with our mudras. Go ahead and keep breathing. Nice, big, deep breaths. Keep just taking those big, deep breaths, sighing it out until your body is ready to settle. You'll notice you won't feel the need to take such big breaths anymore. Then go ahead and let your breath settle and just listen to the sound of it. Occasionally check with your mudra, check with your posture, melt your shoulder blades down your back, relax the muscles in your jaw, relax the muscles in your face. Relax the muscles in your hand, keeping your mudra within tension, no tension. And just listen to the sound of the breath. Nothing more, nothing less. Stay with the breath, stay with the mudra. Anytime your attention gets pulled away from the breath or from the practice at all, I invite you to just bring it right back. Focus again on the mudra, on the sound of the breath. See if you can settle into an equal inhale and exhale as we finish out with our 5 minutes. Stay present, refocusing your attention on the sound of your own breath as many times as it takes to make it through the 5 minutes. Go ahead and take a big, deep breath in, hold at the top, and exhale to release. Bring your hands together into prayer, or simply lay one over the other over your heart in gratitude for this practice. Offer yourself gratitude for taking the time for self-care, even though it was just 5 minutes, or maybe it was only 3. That's okay. I'm proud of you. Thank you for joining me in our CAYA space, where we learn and grow and thrive together. When you're ready to come out of meditation, please do so slowly. Offer yourself some wiggles and stretches. really good space behind my eyes today. I don't like opening them. I'm just going to stay in meditation. I think it's just going to be one of those days where I end up staying in meditation all day. So again, this was the mudra for tranquility. It works on circulation, improves circulation, improves, balances heart rate, balances the heart chakra, purifies, detoxifies the blood, oxygenates the blood, improves the flow of prana. So mudras work by redirecting the energy channels in the body. Each finger is responsible for a different element. The thumb is fire. The pointer is air. The middle is ether or spirit. The ring is earth, and the pinky is water. So let's dissect this mudra. First, we take the air finger, the air element, the index finger, and we curl it in. We tuck it in towards the palm. Hide it underneath the fire. In this way, we calm, we quiet. Hey, babe. We quiet the air element in the body. What does air do in the body? Excess air in the body can cause racing thoughts, busyness in the mind, inability to focus, inability to concentrate. It can cause anxiety. Anxiety is, air is responsible for anxiety in the body, and similar highs kind of energies. I'm curious how that happened, Vada, because you're not the first person. I've seen it happen before, and I don't know what you guys are doing over there to make it at me. So that's the air. Let's quiet down the air in the body. Okay, we want to sit for tranquility, right? We want some tranquility. If I'm sitting outside on a nice day, right, it's a nice day if that wind is nice and calm, or maybe a little breeze. But if it's like blowing like fucking crazy, like a hurricane, I'm not going to be calm, right? We can feel that even when on a windy day, it can kind of disrupt the system. So let's turn the air element in. And then we touch the fire element to both the ether and the earth. No, Sticky, I'm not a vegan. The ether and the earth are the same element as the solar and lunar elements in the body. The masculine and feminine, the light and dark, the warming and cooling, right? The active and the passive. These energies are dualistic systems. Both of those come together to the fire. Those solar and lunar energies in our body actually flow through these two channels called nadis. In Sanskrit, called nadis. It is through these nadis that the energy first splits through us, right? The energy, this lunar and solar energy, flows through our system. This is our life force, our prana. Once it splits from pure prana, divine force, into a masculine, feminine, into the dualistic world that we live in. So by putting the fire to the nadis, to the solar and lunar energies in my body, I increase the flow of prana through my entire system. This is akin to just a whole, like, in my mind, I always see the channels, right? And it's like sending golden energy through all the channels. That's the way I see it. I don't know. Rejuvenating to the whole system. It's this part of the mudra that I feel like gives me a lot of the sense of tranquility, because it's as if I can feel that flow pumping through my system. I don't know if you noticed when you sat with your mudra, but I have noticed the more I sit with it, the more I start to feel my heartbeat in everywhere on my body. Remember, it improves circulation, it balances heart rate, opens the heart chakra, increases prana flow through the system, right? So this is like moving everything in your system to detoxify, to get rid of excess dense energy that you no longer need, old emotions, things stored and stuck in your system. This is like a full system house cleaning. Why the water? Why is the water out here? So that the channel can remain open and carry things from our system. When we drink water, right? Water, one of the many reasons why we need to drink water is to detoxify the system. Water helps to carry that energy out. So the water channel is open and flowing. We've increased prana, the solar and lunar energies in the body, and we've quieted the element of air. So the mind and the body can chill. For the right and left, you can hold it in both hands. And again, this is one you can just, it doesn't have to be in your lap. You don't have to hold it at your heart. I do find you'll see me sometimes holding it like this because I really enjoy it right here. So I encourage you to find where you want to hold this mudra. Try it right there. And see, again, for those of you who are new here, I highly suggest grabbing yourself a notebook and keeping track of these different mudras and even keeping notes on how they affect you and what things you notice, because this is how we commit them to practice, commit them to memory. When we do that, that means that if I'm headed to the grocery store or somewhere and having and I'm saying to myself, my anxiety is really bad right now, I have a tool. I have a tool for that. I have a mudra for that. And it's so effective that I could just sit here and close my eyes and breathe for 5 minutes. And it's gonna make a shift. Mudras have been around a whole lot longer than the chemical compound medications we have. Do you think they would have been perpetuated if they didn't work? Western medicine is actually quite young compared to some tools that have existed far longer than the advent of allopathic medicine. So why aren't these commonly practiced, commonly taught? Why aren't we teaching our kids how to breathe, how to hold mudras, right? How to redirect the energy in their body to balance themselves. Hey, Mary, nice to see you again, my friend. Can you imagine if we taught our children these tools? They would grow into adults that already had the tools programmed in. There is the Lionsgate portal tomorrow, so I encourage everyone to spend a little bit of time thinking about what you're ready to let go of. And in fact, instead of choosing something that's you're still really attached to within you, I encourage you to spend a few minutes with yourself every day. Well, it's tomorrow, right? Asking yourself, what are you already letting go of? What can you already see falling away from your life? Again, a lot of times we think of the thing that we want, like, oh, the next thing that I want, without taking the time for gratitude for the thing that's actually happening. The story I told you guys about yesterday, about the bakery, is my moment of gratitude. I do struggle with triggers, especially out in public, especially when people be peopling, right? But I was able to genuinely hold space for her in that moment while it was happening. Spirituality is really hip. esoteric knowledge and spiritual practices and these kinds of things are really trending right now. So there's a lot of information out there, right? There's a lot of information available, and there's a lot of people talking about this stuff. I used to be one of those people talking about this stuff. Being able to repeat to you what I had read, what I had learned in my classes and my certifications and my whatnot, right? But when you put them into practice, when you apply them, integrate them, distill them from this library up here, knowledge place, and bring it down into the heart so that we experience these things, it changes everything. I'm trying to think of the thing to say, and I'm like, and what happens is my pirates just keep giggling. My pirates just keep like going, because when it starts to work, it starts to work. When it turns into understanding and habit rather than information and knowing, it becomes a state of being, it becomes a practice, it becomes an experience that rises and falls within you and around you constantly. Opportunities for growth and reflection, opportunities to meet something new, something that I used to judge and see only in one way, meet my own judgments as if they are totally new situations. The freedom that comes with not being constantly pushed and pulled by other people's energy is really powerful. We are constantly exchanging energy in this world. Thor. I don't give that one out on the lives. We live in a world where it's all finite energy. It's all this external illusion, finite energy, everything from my breath to my digestion to my life to, these all rise and fall. Everything here is finite. It's the illusion of this matrix. Thor, I'm trying to be funny, but I'm serious. You need defense against the city. Gotta raise your vibration out of it, Thor. You fight fire with fire, you get a wildfire. You keep pushing and pulling with energy in this finite reality. You will continue to be locked in and engaged with this finite reality, with the low density energies of this finite reality. But Rev, how do I stop pushing and pulling on all this energy? How do I stop letting all this energy fuck with me? Mary, I did make burritos, by the way. Yes, I did. Thanks for asking. I just saw that. How do I do that? Mandy, did I explain the mudra? Yes. Did you want to hear it again? I can totally do that. And then we'll get back to talking about the energy exchange in this universe, because it's really important to understand how our systems work, how energy exchange works, and how to get out of that system, how to get out of that cycle, that rhythm, because it's probably in my opinion, one of the primary things that keep us stuck in suffering is this energetic exchange in the matrix reality. Yes, and please. Okay. All right, y'all. So this is the mudra for the week. Again, it's called the Hridaya Mudra. It's spelled Hridaya. It's in Sanskrit, and it means it's the mudra for tranquility. The term means heart seal or gesture of the heart. So the mudra is done like so. You bring your index finger, curl it into the crook of your thumb, to the hammock of your thumb. Then bring your thumb to touch your middle and your ring finger. Keep your pinky finger extended. Remember, we hold our mudras with intention, not tension. Anthony, hello, welcome. Mudras are actually from the Vedic sciences, and I don't know exactly their correlation to feminism, but I'd really love to hear more if you can tell me how feminism and mudras are connected. I'd love to hear about it. Thank you. With intention, not tension. It's really important when we're in our mindfulness space that we practice meeting things with gentleness. We practice holding intention, not tension, even in our posture. When we find a meditative seat, right? Okay, wait, now I'm going to explain all sorts of other things. Hold on, let me not get on a sidetrack here. Let's get back to the mudra. Okay, so here is the hand position of the mudra. This mudra works to balance the heart chakra, detoxify the blood, improve circulation, oxygenate the blood, improve lung capacity, increase the flow of prana through the system, specifically through the solar and lunar channels, so balancing the dualistic energies within our system. Mudra for tranquility. Detoxifying, cleansing, can help with heart attacks, migraines, things like that. In general, blood concerns, vitality concerns. Okay. General idea, right? Those are the general things about this mudra. How does this mudra work? You're welcome, Mandy. Okay. How does this mudra work and why? We were just talking about this earlier, and this is some of my favorite parts about understanding energy work when we look at mudras, right? So the air finger, the index is the finger for air. It is the channel for the air element in the body. Air in the body is what's responsible for busy mind, racing thoughts, anxiety, jittery, sort of like that kind of energy. It's kind of like you would imagine on a super windy day, right? It's really kind of just distracting. It's like a background noise sort of deal. That's air in the body. So we take the air element and we tuck it all the way into the hand. Again, no tension. Don't create tension here. We meet ourselves with intention. So find where it fits, that you can keep it there. Tuck it in and quiet it down. Then we bring the fire element. The thumb is the fire element. We bring it to touch the middle finger, which is the ether or spirit element in the body, and to touch the earth element, the ring finger. That's the earth element in the body. Also, our solar and lunar channels in the body, our masculine, feminine, active, passive, right? Those energies, the dualistic energies in the body. These are the minor energy channels called nadis that go along through the chakras and the main energy, the central energy channel. So what does this do when we put fire to the flow of prana through our systems? It increases the flow of prana. It increases the flow of prana. So we energize the flow of prana through our system, which means not only are we increasing circulation through the system, blood circulation, heart rate and whatnot, but we're also energetically clearing out the system. So we're detoxifying on various levels here with this mudra. Why is the water element extended here? Keep that channel open. What's one of the first and best ways to clarify, detoxify your body? Drink water. So keep the water channel nice and open with intention, not with tension. You'll notice if you create tension in your mudra, it's going to be hard to hold that mudra with tension for some time. And we should hold our mudras. Ideally, we want to hold our mudras for a minimum of 5 minutes, because it takes 5 minutes for the energy to circulate through the system. So that is our mudra. Did I explain all the pieces? All the energy, the elements, where they go, where you hold it, what it's for, heart seal, rejuvenates the heart and the pericardium. It's the mudra for tranquility. Mandy, do I have a video on this as well? So every week we go through a different mudra, and I post a video Sunday-ish for each mudra for the week. During that video, what I will do is I will show you how to do the mudra, both from a point of view one and then from the other way. and then I talk about them in class. So I don't actually have any content on the full explanation of all the mudras. I use it more. There's the video there so you can know how to do it, and then come to class so we can talk about it. If you, I'm live 4 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. If you can't meet me here live, I am here for several hours usually, but I really hang out in our Discord space. I have a free Discord space that we are building our CAYA community within. And that is the place that if you want to sit and talk more, if you want to read more about these mudras and chat more about these, and ask questions at length, we can always do that in here. We can do that here too. That's why I'm here for the lives, right? But when I'm not live, or if you want to talk at more about it, to explore them more in depth, we do that in the Discord. The link is in my bio. It's a Linktree link. So I'm Linktree, move the change. You will find a free link to get in the Discord. You will find a donation box because I do these classes for free, and I do appreciate anybody able and willing to support the fact that I do that, and the sharing, because knowledge is power, right? We all need to share this stuff. So, or I'm sharing this stuff. You will also find the ability to grab memberships. Memberships are available for various perks, things like my archive of all my replays, all my class replays. You also get priority in terms of content creation. I keep everything I make on TikTok because on TikTok you can download things for free. And I make my content open so that you can keep it. If you have a question and you drop a question on my comments on my video and my content, I will make a response video. I do my best to try to make as many response videos as I can. If you are a member, I will go the extra mile and make you a whole cool video with all the information and everything for you to download. So any level of membership will get you that perk. Level, I think, 2 and 3 gets you coaching. Level 2 gets you into our group coaching. We do twice weekly, which, by the way, group coaching is now, again, shifted this week. So it's tonight at 4 o'clock Pacific time, and then also Saturday evening, 4 o'clock Pacific time. For those of you in group coaching, I did put the notice in Discord. So, and then you'll also find membership options for working directly with me. Really, the thing I charge for is my personal time. It's very valuable to me and to my son, and I'm also very choosy about the people that I work with. For various reasons, and I'm happy to chat more about that if you're interested in working one-on-one with me. Also, remember that the dollar is not king in here, so if you would like some kind of service or perk or something like that, and the dollar is the gate, or the lock on the gate that keeps you out of the Sangha, out of that membership, then please reach out to me. I highly value exchanges, services, exchange and barter. In fact, right now, I am looking for some video editors, moderators, an app developer, because we are going to really put energy in toward making a mindfulness RPG, all into an app that allows you to be rewarded and engage in a playful way with these tools, with these powerful tools that essentially are intended to align you with your highest truth, to bring you home to your authentic self, to allow you to discover the truth of who you are, whatever that is for you, without doctrination, without sales pitches, without, little in-app purchases and ads and shit. I would really love to create this app. So if anybody is a developer or knows a developer and is excited about a project like that, please reach out to me too. I think there was something else I was looking for as well. But the jobs, I have a jobs board in the Discord as well. Mandy, anybody who would like to be a moderator or anything like that, reach out to me. Get in the Discord at the very least, because if we're gonna trade, you'll need to be in there. Yes, thank you, Gigi. Group coaching Wednesdays and Saturdays at 4 p.m. Pacific time. So, energy. Oh, nice, Mandy. Sweet. Let's get in and talk about it. Yeah. Bill asked how many mudras are there. I don't know the number of mudras. I haven't found a number of mudras. I think part of that also is because we've got I can create a spontaneous mudra, right? By, like, if I just want to curl in, if my mind is fucking going nuts and I want to just curl my finger in, my air finger, I'm going to receive benefit from doing that. Obviously, we only have so many fingers and hands, so there must be a limited amount of available options, I guess. Right? Awesome, Mandy. That would be amazing. Yes. So, we were talking about energy before we went back to the mudra. We were talking about energy and about this world that this finite reality that we are engaged in energetic exchange with. Most of us go through life continuing to do that and not realizing that we are oftentimes keeping ourselves out of balance, out of alignment through the style of exchanges that we do. So when we were working with this mudra, the Hridaya Mudra, it balances the heart chakra. If our heart chakra is out of balance, it can manifest as either excess, a degree of excess, or a degree of deficiency. I want to reassure everyone here that I have never met a system that has a completely shut off chakra or completely shut off from prana or anything like that. I've never met a system that was totally shut down. Have I met some really sticky, dense systems? Absolutely. But your energy system is flowing and dynamic and shifts a lot. Because it's so dynamic, it makes it a lot easier for us to engage with it and shift it and adjust it. This is probably one of the most, like, I still don't understand why energy work is not something that we foundationally teach our children. Okay, so if I have learned in my early experiences, my system has settled into a habitual state, right? This is what happens because of the way that we develop and taking in information and turning that information into knowing or understanding about the world. If I've got this big open heart chakra, let's say I was somebody who was taught that it's my job to take care of everybody else, right? This was the message that I got, and then I need to put my own needs aside, and everybody else comes first. And maybe I'm only lovable if I take care of other people, right? These kinds of energies could potentially settle my system into an excess here in the heart. If I'm going around with this excess here, pushing energy out from my heart, with all of that external going energy, it's really hard for energy to come back in. So I'm going to have this experience in life where I'm constantly pushing love and compassion and care out to other people, but I'm going to really struggle to feel it coming back. And this is going to be your classic story of, I do so much, I take care of everybody else, and nobody takes care of me. I love so fucking hard, I wish somebody would just love me the way that I love me, that I love others, right? So you can see how in this way, this energy would influence my behaviors and my choices. I am exuding all of this energy, not receiving a great deal. And then, who am I going to attract? People who want all of this energy. Who's going to enjoy being in somebody's really big, heart open thing energy? Somebody who feels like they really need to be loved. Nobody loves me. Everybody hates me. I guess I'll go eat worms. Long, thin, slimy ones, short, fat, juicy ones, itsy bitsy fuzzy wuzzy worms. So in this way, I'm going to attract people that want to take that excess energy that I have, that probably keep needing to take it and create a codependent kind of relationship where that person never really gives them self-love, and I never really balance my love out either. Sometimes we see this manifest as the twin flame journey, where you have people with basically my excess here meets your deficiency here, my deficiency here meets your excess here, right? Where you kind of puzzle together in this perfect way. My excess meets your deficiency. Mandy, that's what I feel attracts narcissists, unfortunately. So that's something that sorry, sometimes I read a second comment and I was like, wait, no, okay. Attracts narcissists. We've talked about that a lot in here because the narcissistic personality has an energetic kind of signature, right? So the narcissistic personality is somebody who's going to have a deficient or restricted heart chakra. It's somebody who's going to have an excessive or really big solar plexus chakra. This is my center for will. This is my need for control. And this is also my center for aggression. So you can imagine that this being out of balance, right? But this out of balance comes from not being able to balance this energy while it was developing. The narc empath template. Erik Erikson's stages of social emotional development places this energy as, what is it? Autonomy versus shame and doubt. It says during this stage of development, he doesn't talk about the chakras, sorry. He talks about social and emotional development. And so between the stages, the ages of, hold on, let me count. There's room to 6 months, 6 to 18. Yeah, so like 2 to 5, about the ages of 2 to 5, we're working on autonomy versus shame and doubt. Now, when I am growing up and I am first in that stage between 2 and 5, experiencing and experimenting with my autonomy, the messages I receive from my environment and from internal and external stimuli are going to influence where this chakra settles. If you want to see life force, divinity in its purest expression, go look at a toddler. They own the fucking world, right? They're experimenting with their authenticity. This is where I balance my self-esteem. This is where I balance my need for control with the ability to allow others to control the situation, right? This is where I balance my ability to both protect myself, right, and attack if I need to. This is my center for will. These are the things I do in the world. If at a young age, as many of us are when we're toddlers, we're told to cut it the fuck out, sit down, be quiet, don't do that, right? A lot of these are going to cause deficiency here in the solar plexus if they're not balanced with self-esteem boosting stuff. So a narcissist, both, the interesting thing, right, about our systems is that if my system is classically here in an excess, if, for example, if my system is classically here in a deficiency, solar plexus deficiency, lack of willpower, feeling very out of control or very weak, right? These kinds of energies. If my system is like that, you may still experience bursts of energy. So this may be somebody who's like passive, and then you push them too far and then they're like, ah! Because they don't know how to balance this energy. They don't know how to manage this energy. So the system is there. The energy is available, right? It's just about how we are used to using it, how we habitually use it. Hey, Zark. You realized recently that your willpower and solar plexus is what has been under attack and became depleted. This mudra feels good above your stomach, as well as bringing it back down, bringing back the feeling of loving what I do. Yay! I really am loving this one. I was joking today, Zark, that when we started class, I was like, I think I've been doing too much of this mudra because it's offered, like, there's too much tranquility. I'm all Extra zen this morning, which is really nice, right? Thomas, what are my qualifications? You can go check my Patreon page if you want to see the list of my certifications. I am a interfaith minister. I have spent 20 years studying and working in the field of human development and wellness across the lifespan. I started studying marketing manipulation and energy and things like that back in the 90s, and how the external world manipulates our energy field through the mind and through the body. So this has been ongoing personal and professional work for me. I received my family's lineage of energy work when I was a child, and then I went through certification through Usui lineage of Reiki. But still, my energy work is very highly influenced by my family's lineage, although I very much appreciate the insights that Reiki also affords. I have several certifications. And the only thing I don't have is a degree from university. Despite spending 12 years in university, I didn't get a degree because I spent those 12 years learning what I wanted to learn and skipping the core math class that had nothing to do with human development and wellness. So those are the general qualifications. I will be 40 this year, and I intentionally have been doing this work since I was a little kid. I have been intentionally doing self work since I was a little kid because I recognized very early that my parents didn't give me the tools that I needed, that I wanted to relate to people better, to understand myself better. And I'm grateful for that push in childhood because it's afforded me a lifetime of exploration and experimentation. And ultimately, at 40, I now have this really cool toolbox. And this toolbox, I thought I was going to put it into a training course. I was going to create like a whole 3-year program. And yeah, I still have everything to create it, so I might still eventually create it too. But essentially to teach this whole, the unification of the lifespan and all of these different aspects. Jacqueline, oh my God, I have been so excited this week watching us get up closer and closer to 10K. This account has only been open for about 2 years, and in that time of sharing information, we've built this account through information sharing and shenanigans. It's so much fucking fun. I wanted to teach all of these tools to the world. I wanted to teach other people how to take these tools and then help other people, right? I used to call myself a full circle doula, actually. If you know anything about birth doulas, right? I was a birth doula at one point and realized that I could offer doula-like support, physical, informational, emotional, and spiritual support across the lifespan. That's where my career started and evolved from. And this is my 10th year as a minister. And my 3rd year with both feet squarely on my path. My 3rd year feeling more authentic, more at peace, watching myself heal exponentially. You wanted to be a lactation consultant. I did a little bit of that too, so I could support moms at birth and whatnot. It's so much fun. It's such a beautiful relief, right? Especially in that situation with lactation, when you can offer the right position and shift it around, and you see the relief on mom's face. Sorry, that's gonna hit my heart for a second. See the relief on mom's face when it works. I went into birth first because it's where my heart, like, I wanted to help kids. I wanted to help children. I wanted to help heal families when the children were young, right? And in all of that exploration and all of that hoping I could put together a certification program and sell workshops and all that stuff, I tried. I sort of did it here and there, and I did a workshop here and there, but something always felt a little bit off. And I was like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this stuff then? And then I realized that my authority is to respond. I was able to look back and realize that when I sat down and tried to put my book, my class, my certification program together, It was like a fog of ideas and tools and words and meanings. And I'm a storyteller too, so like it was just all a mess in there. It was all flourish of paint. But when someone comes up and says, hey, do you have a mudra for this? Or I'm having anxiety right now. Or I'm worried, blank, 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 blank. Or it's almost as if the tools, like some fucking cartoon, climb themselves out of the toolbox and do this little song and dance up the shoulder and into my ear and go, oh, here you go, delivered out the mouth. So to be in my truth, I must follow what feels most aligned. And the truth is that if we were in the park or in a restaurant or even walking by each other in the grocery store, I would probably still share this information with you. I wouldn't tell you, ooh, I have a workshop, go look it out online. I just stand right there and tell you all the stuff, which is probably why it never really worked for me to charge for information. Because I had to spend all of these years looking for all of this information. I had to dig and compare and contrast and look at this piece over here and this piece over here and go, but wait a minute, they're both the same. Do you know that the stages of social emotional development, physical development, cognitive development, and chakra development all happen along the same timeline, about the same age gaps? They're not teaching you that in school. Do you know your heart is not just a muscle that pumps blood through your body? In fact, it's not even capable of doing that job. But that's not what they tell you in school. Knowledge is power. And in a world that relies on your willful ignorance, one of the most radical and powerful things that you can do is be curious. Is be curious and willing. And in a world that seeks to harvest your resources, your attention, your time, your money, your life, the most powerful thing you can do for yourself is to cultivate your intention and your attention. Mandy, yes, I heard that from when we were born until age 7, we're in the theta wavelength. Between the ages of 7 and 8, our brain shifts for the first time out of the theta brainwaves. I just wrote it down the other day because I was trying to remember the levels of the, because I think it's, oh, right there. Delta is the deep sleep. I'm passed out. That's delta brainwaves. Theta brainwaves is active dreaming, also deep meditation, visualization, astral projection space, dream journeying, that kind of stuff, lucid dreaming. That's the theta brainwave. Our brain doesn't even get to theta, doesn't even get out of theta, stays in theta and delta until we're about 8. You're unconscious. You're essentially unconscious. What I discovered was that during that time, the groundwork, your foundation is being laid. The foundation for most of our triggers, habits, personality things, and whatnot. Max, do I know Satanists believe a lot of the same views? Yes. And if you study as an interfaith minister, I know that if you study all or many of the religions, you're going to find common threads in a lot of them, because religion was structured on top of universal truths. Religions are a structure created by someone based on the informations and understandings available at the time, and for a specific outcome, whether it be to get you to heaven or to control people or to teach them to be clean or whatever story, right? But yes, of course, Satanists and Christians and religions all over the world talk about very similar truths along with our sciences, because they are truths. They are universal. And yet we convolute them with all this other information and tag on all these other ifs, ands, or buts and whatnot. Then we get lost. We get driven away, right, from the truth within it. My experience of this life, right, is only through my subjective experience. This is a philosophical unanswerable. It's a really fun thought game, right? Is why we have subjective experience, what it's for. Why? Why are we stuck in our little subjective boxes? We are definitely somehow perceiving, at least, that we are stuck in our little boxes and that we can't get out. But that means that every bit of my experience only happens inside of me. Yes, I see colors out there. I feel the wind out there. I hear the birds and the cars and the whatnot out there. But I hear it in here, and I see it here. In here. I was like, do you see it right here? Actually, I don't see it right here, do you? You actually see it like in here. If you and I are holding hands, my only experience of us holding hands is the feeling of your hand in my hand. Matt, are you new to this space? So for those of you who are new here, hello. My name is Reverend Deborah. I'm an interfaith minister, a movement facilitator, and your shenanigan shaman. And this is our CAYA community. CAYA, C-A-Y-A, stands for Come As You Are, because authenticity is the goal here. We are working with tools and talking about things that will hopefully lead us home to ourselves. Things that have genuinely led me through my healing and saved my life on more than one occasion. And to create a safe space for all, we have to take personal responsibility for the way that we show up in that space. CAYA, come as you are, C-A-Y-A, come as you are, means feel free, show up as you are. But like any other classroom or temple or church or other space where a specific energy is being cultivated, if you come in with the intention to disrupt that energy, you will be ushered out of the space, out of respect for everyone else. We assume that those that come to stay in this space have the maturity for personal responsibility. If you don't have that, that's okay. But there are other places that you can be. Just like when the, adults are talking and the toddler comes up and screams about stuff, like, yes, you can acknowledge the toddler because you love the toddler too, and you see that that energy needs to be used and redirected sometimes. The mark of a tolerant society is intolerance of intolerance. So if we are going to cultivate tolerance, then we learn how to set boundaries with intolerance. My personal responsibility, spreading energy doctrine. I'm talking to people about the tools that have changed my life. Yep. The tools that have brought me healing, brought me out of depression and anxiety, brought me out of physical pain, brought me out of other struggles in my relationships and in my life. Yes. Tools that I've been working with most of my life and gathering all of my life. And that's just it, Jacqueline. Jacqueline says, so nice to meet someone else with emotional maturity who's worked through their traumas. Some degree, right? I always want to make sure that caveat is in there. I am not healed. My life journey is the healing journey, and I'm really excited about every stage of that. But it's my journey that I choose to go on at my pace, and no longer do I rush myself, right? But I also recognize that My journey is just that, my journey. And that's the only journey I am responsible for. That's why our motto in this space, right, is you are your own guru. I am not here to be your guru or your anything except for your friend, community member, your shenanigan shaman. And that's what we talk about with responsibility. The responsibility is to recognize that you are responsible for every choice, every action you make, and no one else can push and pull you to do that unless you allow it, unless you choose to be the victim. And guess what? No condemnation. If you choose to be the victim, I chose to be the victim for quite some time. And I learned a fuck ton while being the victim of my own life. And then I decided it was time to stand in my truth, to stand in my power, to just see what it was like to maybe set healthier boundaries. See what it's like to learn to love myself first before I give that out to anybody else. Learn to take care of the skeletons in my closet, right? And take responsibility for them without trying to rattle the bones of anybody else's closet. And at the same time, recognizing that we are all connected. Every one of us on so many levels. That I am more than responsible for my choices, because those choices echo out into the universe, and we are stuck in this illusion of space and time that gives us only one direction of that time. The analogy of you drop a cup and the coffee spills and the cup breaks. In this experience, in this universe, it doesn't unbreak. It doesn't, the coffee doesn't come pouring back into the cup. I am still stuck in this illusion of that direction. So I must recognize that every heartbeat echoes out around me. Every thought, every breath is an exchange with the entire universe. Mindfulness is the exploration of deeper and deeper layers of subtlety. I'll talk about gross motor skills and fine motor skills a lot as an analogy for that, right? When we're babies, we have gross motor skills, and we have to practice our gross motor skills, which mean walking and moving my whole arm and turning my body around and sitting upright, right? These are gross motor skills. And when we do not do our mindfulness work, when we operate in duality and ignorance and narrow-minded thinking and compartmentalized thinking, then we put ourselves through the gross motor stage. This is the gross motor stage. And you can stay in the gross motor stage. It's good or bad. Either I'm right or you're wrong, and you're wrong or by the other way around, right? There's no middle ground. There's no in between. There's no gray area. We know people who think like this, right? And choose to interact with their life like this. They're still operating in gross motor skills and haven't done the exploration of the finer layers. Or maybe they have, and they've simply backed the fuck out and said, I don't want to be in those finer layers. And that's okay. Jacqueline, humans equal ego. Yes, our ego is our ally. We were talking a little bit earlier about the theta brainwaves. My brain does not even come out of the dream time until I'm 8. Who is taking care of my system while I'm in the dream time? My ego. That's because my ego begins to develop at that stage. My ego is my ally. My ego is my friend. My ego is there to keep me safe. But when I let my ego drive, when I let my ego run the show, I realized that my ego is not as wise as I had hoped. And my ego is very human and very fallible and sometimes even very short-sighted, more so than I am. In fact, my ego is kind of a static character that I can be. Different aspects of a dynamic character. Different archetypes of the collective. Jacqueline, and that's the other piece too. Yes, children when they're that young and in the theta brainwaves, that's why they are more susceptible to supernatural sort of stuff, as well as energy. I received energy work, the lineage from my family's lineage, and the reason it was given to me was because when I was little, I was already feeling it, moving it, doing it, asking doctors why I felt it in my pinky when someone said something mean to me. I felt, felt it all the way out here, and they couldn't tell me. Turns out mudras and energy channels absolutely do tell me, because this is fucking connected to the heart. Oh. So at the age of 8, 7, 8, my mother started teaching me. And Jacqueline, that's the thing. You said you research the heck out of what you're saying, and it's true, very true. There's actually a huge body of information about energy, about our development. Again, I spent these 20 years not just in child development, but peeking through all of these different portholes to discover that there is a common thread here in the way that the system develops and why it becomes what it does. In our ignorance, we let the ego drive. Hey, Robin, hello. Zark, what are my thoughts on EMI? What's EMI? Sometimes I'm bad with terms and names for things, so you might have to explain. Oh, electromagnetic interference. So we do have that, right, with all the technology and whatnot. Does it interfere with your energy body? Absolutely. Absolutely. How you doing, Bob? Feeling more real today? In my ignorance, I let my ego become the captain. In my ignorance, I let the different facets of my ego, different facets of my whole self, be the ones to take the wheel when they're triggered. I'm out driving on the road and someone cuts me off. Who takes the wheel? Road rage guy up in here. I'm in a I don't know, another public situation, and somebody gets really close to me and starts overpowering me physically, right? I might let the other one, the deficient solar plexus, come up and just cower underneath the pressure. Anxiety chooses to drive the ship away from the grocery store, even though I really needed to go. Ego, in my ignorance, I let ego say things to the people I love that I don't really mean. In my ignorance, I allow ego to walk me away from things that really are for me because I'm too afraid. Because ego says it's too scary. We can maintain our operation for the rest of our lives. During those early stages of development, your body and system and energy body and brain and all this stuff are developing through your early 20s. It's not until your early 20s that your prefrontal cortex comes on. And then you finally have access to the highest functions of your meatbag brain. And for all intents and purposes, the stuff that was built during that time can stay that, can just be that ego. And that's the way that can be your static self. And you can operate for the rest of your life like that, especially in this culture, especially in the West. There's someone in my head that was just like, but it's this personal responsibility piece. The paradox is that to gain true freedom, I must take full responsibility for every one of my actions and words and thoughts. To be free, I cannot be a victim. So I have to recognize the ways in which I am victimizing myself and allowing others to victimize me in my life. And take responsibility for that, because when I take responsibility for that, I have the ability to respond to it, to do something about it. Robin, of course. Hi, honey. What? I got a thing right there. I made you a little board. It is those moments where I feel most justified that I'm probably most imbalanced and most triggered. Robin, because my partner is making me. That feeling that somebody else is making you do something, that is your example. That's your red flag that there is an energetic push and pull happening. A codependent energy exchange happening. Jacqueline, or you reframe. The guy cuts me off and I think thankful for patience to allow someone to go ahead. B. Halen, choosing strength over cowering has been a challenge for me. I'm getting better with it slowly. And this is the thing too, right, B. Halen? I also have had a deficient solar plexus. That's where that comes from. Feeling strength, choosing confidence and strength. I have had a deficient solar plexus, right? When I am learning to be in balance, but I've never been in balance before, how do I know what balance feels like? What usually I end up doing, what we often end up doing, is overcompensating. Right? And swinging into overconfidence. Balance is a subtlety. Balance is a subtle place. It's like, oh, I healed from my darkness, now I'm all love and light. You're out of balance. Darkness exists when there is light, and vice versa. Jacqueline, you have to, there's a male energy tapping into you, 25 to 30-ish. Are you asking for somebody in the comments? Balance is a subtle place. Again, gross motor is going to be swinging from no confidence to way overconfident. Either or, two ends of the spectrum. When we practice mindfulness, we are exploring the deeper and deeper layers of subtlety. When we explore mindfulness, we go from one extreme to the other extreme, and then maybe a little less extreme each time, and then a little less extreme next time, and then a little less extreme next time, right? Jacqueline, are you receiving like a channeling sort of connection? intuitively dancing with the universe myself. I like to talk about this internal universe as a place of delicate spider webs. He had a sister? I don't know. It's not ringing a bell for me. Hello, Sir Dog. Hello. Hello, Sir Dog. Hello. What are you doing? Are you waggling your tail up there? That was really cute. Oh my gosh. Come here. Come here, Dog Dog. Hi. Hi. What's the matter? What's the matter? What's the matter? What? Do you want to go outside? No? You okay? Just need some pets. I love him. I love him. Shows you a 4-door red car. Nope, not for me, my friend, that I'm aware of. That's okay. Ooh, learning spider energy, yes. DJ Nature, have a wonderful day too. Thank you for sharing though, Jacqueline. Hopefully it did reach somebody. Do I use Starlink? No. But I watch them go through the sky every night. Again, folks, if you want to go live with me, send me a message about going live another time, and I'm happy to chat about doing so. But if you just pop up in the middle of a live, I'm not going to accept. I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want to talk about. I mean, Jacqueline, did you see this? Mandy asked you a question here. Did they mention a car accident? Hi, Pond Guy. How are you? Nice to see you again. Robin, feeling like I'm being self-righteous, but the guilty feeling is crazy. Why myself like this opinion is anything but. So I think, if I understand correctly, you're talking about that intense energy when we have those energetic exchanges, right? When we're in those dynamics, for example, with my partner, right? If my partner does something to trigger me, it's their fault that they triggered my system. And because their behavior triggered what happened in my system, it causes me to feel justified in responding to their behavior from my place of being triggered. The problem with that dynamic is that we don't stop to recognize, to take responsibility for the fact that it is actually an internal trigger. Ultimately, their behavior is simply external stimuli. The way that my system responds to that behavior is my responsibility or my reactive triggers, or I'm just operating on the previous programming that I received while I grew up. This is how we can usually tell really quickly that we're engaged in an energetic exchange. When we're engaged in a dynamic, right? That's a codependent energy exchange. This is the first indication. You feel that feeling. Hey, Ricky, love you. You feel that feeling. Touch where you feel that feeling. For me, a lot of times it's in my head, or it's in my heart, or it's in my belly, right? As soon as a trigger comes up, we start learning these tools so that we can meet ourselves in between the space of trigger and reactivity. This is where we take responsibility for ourselves, is in that space in between. Begin by simply, I usually put my hand on wherever it is I'm feeling it. Right? And for me, oftentimes in relationship dynamics, it is in my solar plexus because, yeah. So I'll put my hand there, and I usually take several deep breaths and just listen to what is being said inside of me, but from a removed place, right? Not engaging with it like, yeah, fuck that guy. Yeah, fuck that. It's so fucking stupid. It's all their fault. Listen to it, but meet it as if you're someone else, hearing somebody else's story, right? For you, it's your chest, right? So press your hand, put your hand on your chest, and just listen while you breathe. deep, slow breaths. Listen while you breathe. It's in this space that if I can create some space, I usually ask that feeling, what does it need? What do you need? Because oftentimes what I need is safety, is to be heard, is to feel loved, is to feel respected, right? At least from there, I can start understanding the trigger better. I can start choosing how to respond. If I can pause for a moment. The first few times, I want to reassure everyone of this, the first few times you do these things, especially in relationship dynamics that you're used to operating in over and over and over again, with the first few times you do this, it feels like you're doing something totally fucking wrong. It feels like you're doing something totally backwards. It feels like you're moving a mountain, like you're trying to pull yourself off a Velcro wall. It's not going to feel comfortable. The first time you put aside the ego response, the trigger thing happening here, and choose something different. But what you're telling your system is that the ego doesn't get to drive just because the ego's name was called, right? Just because someone said a thing or did a thing and that trigger was initiated does not mean that it gets to follow through on the action or on the behavior that it wants to do. You are your relay switch there. You, for all intents and purposes, until you find your captain, you are your captain. And it's you who needs to start doing the things with the ego and go, wait. Last time you said that shit, we got in a really big argument and I nearly lost my relationship. I don't actually want to go down that road again, right? So what else can I say? Maybe all I have to say is I need 10 minutes before I can talk. I need to go scream into a pillow. There is no one right way. The other day, you had the moment, so much rage to react, fight, inflict back, and the saddest part is you don't even remember what the fight was or now what has triggered you. Yes, that energy, that is imbalance. That is imbalance. And we just got to work on shaving off the top of that energy every single time. Every single time it comes up again, release a little bit more. Comes up again, release a little bit more. Each time you do this, it is a habit that you build. The more you do this, the easier it gets. Jacqueline, my birthday is September 9th. Yes, Elilan.
Could I just have 3 of one of the vitamin bags?
No, you need to have 1 of each. Or 2 of each, right? Halen, I started trying to exercise, and my dog just came up with sniffs and kisses. Nice. Hey, Pond Guy, I see. Sorry, I'm catching up on comments, Guy. Back here. The day you joined this live, I helped you break down 2 barriers that you didn't even realize you had. Yeah, I love hearing that stuff, guys. That's why I share this stuff for free. I'm really hoping that, by sitting here and sharing these things, talking about these things, answering the questions about the situations that come up, that we can really create some movement. I call myself a movement facilitator because we seek movement in breath, in body, and in being, in spirit. When there is tension on any level, it creates rigidity. It keeps us stuck. It makes it a lot harder for us to weather the storms. But when we learn to be flexible, to meet ourselves where we're at in the moment, rather than having these expectations that every day and everything is going to be the same, Halen, I like that. I feel very safe learning moving in here. And we can create movement by breathing, by dancing, by laughing, by pausing. There's another paradox. Create movement within the self by stopping for a moment, by being still for a moment. Robin, he said, you feel it, you had an ego death, and you're elevated now, and you understand can transmute and heal. Boom. Ready to burn it all out. Take your time. There is no rush, right? I wanted so badly to rush on my journey and rush to get to the place where I had everything fixed. And in doing so, I was actually really destroying my relationship with myself because I never took the time to acknowledge that I was perfectly okay at every stage. I was perfectly valuable at every stage. I had to rebuild trust with myself. I had to learn to love myself because my expectation had been, I gotta meet the next stage. I gotta fix the next thing. I gotta fix everything. Fix means broken. But now I recognize that I can heal because I was broken. I can learn to love myself because I hated myself. And when we go on this journey home to ourselves, we have to be lost first to find it, to find ourselves again. Like a little set of those nesting dolls. Within each layer of healing holds the key to the next layer of healing. And I don't think I will ever say to anyone that I am healed. Because it is in my humility that I can hold space and compassion for myself. It is in recognizing that it is my brokenness that allows me to learn to love myself. And so these things that make me feel broken or wrong or lost or scared or unloved or unworthy, these things are all opportunities, within them containing nuggets of gold wisdom that without shame and fear and guilt and things I would never be able to find. It's good to acknowledge where we are and also to recognize that there is an infinite road ahead of us.
Mama, where's our star?
What?
Where's our star?
He went to the vet. Okay, go do your thing, please, without interruption. Thank you, sir. Stephen, can I ask Jacqueline if her birthday is May 23rd? It could possibly be the Jacqueline I know and miss hearing from. Jacqueline, was the birthday May 23rd? If not, no biggie. Lots of family around. Your birthday is March. Her birthday's March. Be healing. You started in 2020, and I was the first one to explain gentleness. That's the thing. Like, we live, we all have this thing in this culture that is, again, like, push, grow. Be better. You gotta fix. And it really does just deny us the truth of our value, even in our brokenness. And it cultivates judgment for others in their brokenness, because we judged our brokenness as wrong and bad and needing to be changed and solved. But even in my ignorance, I am valuable. Even in my ignorance, I am exactly as I need to be, so that I can discover my way out of ignorance or stay within it and discover what's there. Robin, I'm glad you're sharing with others. I also have always been compelled to do the same. As soon as I discover something and find a stepping stone, you bet your ass I turn it around and go, hey guys, check out what I found. No, that's okay. I can read through typos. The greatest misdirection in this entire world was to turn us away from the truth within ourselves, turn us away from the personal power within ourselves, turn us away from the exponential gift that our attention is. My intention and my attention, if aligned, resonate me at my authenticity, can bring me to my authenticity. Rachel, I'm glad you're here. Thank you, friend. Being so excited to share that lesson that it doesn't get time to integrate. Yep. But but time and space are relative. There is no time. I didn't waste time. I don't have to find time. I can create time. It's good to be excited for those things, for the things that we discover. But remember, even in this space, we talk a lot about how we are so doing. We forget to be. And that's why we take extra breaths in this space. That's why sometimes when we finish our meditation, we sit there for a few moments with our hands in our hearts and just be. There's actually a lot that occurs in that space. And this is how we start to become familiar with our subtlety. I did a thing, and now I'm done doing the thing. And usually we do a thing, and we move on to the next thing. But life is not exhale, 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 exhale. Life is inhale, and then a brief pause, and then an exhale, and then a brief pause, and then an inhale. Yeah, Chrissy. Yeah. That in-between space. So we have a world that tells you to go, 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 so you don't find the power within that in-between space. Do I have advice for asking the body to hold that space of pause? You tend to jump out quickly. I just like to use my vision inward, right? Turning my vision inward or turning my hearing inward. In that moment of pause, I usually open up my inner vision and my ears within and just look. So for me, that space is a kind of waiting, a kind of, you know how when you stack everything all perfectly, dominoes or whatever, you get all your things put together, you're like, what? Wait, make sure it doesn't fall. Okay. It's that pause for me of, but again, placing the hands on the heart, making a habit of it, making a habit of creating the space for it. So every time you go into a practice, maybe make it, every time you go into a practice, give yourself 30 seconds or something to just listen into the space. But every single time. Robin, you said, yeah, but we are both right. You mean you and your partner? Duality, balance of both sides of self. Oh, we are both healing and broken. Jacqueline, there's beauty in the pause, but also lots of spirit chatter. Yes, and that's through mindfulness, right? Through practice, through creating the habit of mindfulness, That is how we get that chatter, the mind monkeys, to quiet down. This is a habit we create. This is a thing we do. The more we do it, the more it resonates within us. I always say meditation is a personal practice. The more you sit with it, the more it will resonate within you. And the more habitual it will become, just like your triggers, just like the childhood triggers ingrained in you from way back when. You can ingrain a new trigger for you. And that trigger is sitting and closing the eyes or what have you. And the brain goes, oh, shh. We're listening. It takes time. It takes practice. Make a habit of it. You're amazing too, Jacqueline. I love you.
Hey, Mama.
Singular, yet plural. Divine, right? Yet human, finite, infinite, and finite. Exactly. The entire universe is just a micro, macro, inside, outside, paradox, reflection, all the like fractals. It's fucking beautiful. That's why there is no right and wrong, because both are true. And when we learn to take no more interruptions, son, I'm not going to have this discussion with you right now. Thank you. When I take my personal responsibility for these things, this is why, with the understanding, this is why I take personal responsibility, because nothing is right or wrong. It just is. It just is. Do you need to pull another chore card? A new chore card?
No.
Okay. And when I release the judgment of whether I was right or wrong, or the other person was right or wrong, and simply say, this is just the experience that occurred, what kind of experience do I want to have moving forward? So I keep asking myself, what kind of experience do I want to have in this situation? Andrew, your comment made me think of actually a book that I read about the way that the brain is changed on a physiological level by its experiences, because the book used the analogy of lobsters and the way that lobsters fight, because with the short lifespan of a lobster, they can see the way that it physiologically changes their brain, their body, their whole everything. Each time they lose, they are more likely to lose because the expectation gets set that they're going to lose each time that they lose. It reconfirms the expectation that they're going to lose and physically makes them weaker and more likely to lose. And similar happens to our bodies and our brains. The whole what doesn't kill you makes you stronger is a double-edged sword, because it can make you stronger, but can also deteriorate your system if you don't know how to refortify your system, strengthen your system. So, lobsters live forever. Are lobsters immortal? Like what kills them is old age, not shedding. What kills them oftentimes is fighting. But again, I don't know what the lifespan of a lobster is. I'm going to leave that one there. I am ignorant of the lifespan of a lobster. However, the study of them gave us a better understanding of how the body physiologically reacts to trauma unless we treat it. Pawn guy, keep going though. Stay in here long enough and you might need a new therapist. Need a second one. No, I'm just kidding. That's why it's so important to work on the trauma, yes. Because when we don't, our system becomes more and more rigid and closed off and closed down. And we end up seeing physical manifestation and cognitive manifestations of those imbalances and those traumas because they weren't healed. Hey, Cassie. I won't deny you your truth, Andrew. You can have your truth. Robin, it seems like light and water may or may not be reacting to me, and the birds, and just me in tune, the clouds, clearer pictures. Yeah, so this is what the veil thinning looks like, right? This is what becoming more aware of these subtle layers of our reality. Again, gross motor versus fine motor. Gross motor vision says everything is separate from me. There's a tree, there's the ground, there's the sky, there's the birds, there's the whatnot. When I discover the subtle layers that connect all of those pieces, I begin to see my intrinsic both value and my intrinsic value and my inseparableness from everything. And that's where we start to experience these like spiritual experiences, right? Or these connected experiences or these higher experiences, because you are just becoming aware of what was already available to you, of what was already here. You've already been interacting with water. Water and light do respond to you. You respond to them as well. It's an interpersonal exchange, right? The stars as well, yeah. Try talking to the stars. One of my favorites. Jacqueline, you cannot move forward without bringing your issues into awareness. What happens when we experience things in our life? So we live in this finite reality. We have a finite body. We have a finite time here, finite perceptions. All the things are finite, right? Finite systems. So everything in a finite system has a cycle, has a rise and a fall, has a beginning, middle, and end. My breath, inhale and exhale. Everything in our lives, in our systems, in our realities should ultimately actually follow this rise and fall. Yes, we are seeking to discover the infinite inside of the rise and fall of the finite. But what happens is that somehow we get the message, right? We're not taught how to allow our emotions to rise and fall the same way the breath rises and falls. When I inhale and I exhale. Sometimes I'll hold my breath, sure. Sometimes I might think about my breath, sure. But when I'm sad, I inhale my grief and I hold it in my lungs. And I wonder why it's here. And I lay it on my heart and I feel its weight and I keep it in my body as it pulls me down deeper. And I say, it's mine. My grief. I am depressed. It's not just mine, but I am it now. And so it becomes me. But my system is finite, and I am holding a finite thing in a finite system. This is akin to leaving an apple in the fruit drawer for way too long. What happens? It starts to fester and rot. And it starts to fucking try to push its way out. Our systems are not intended to contain these finite things, and they fester, and they rot, and they get heavy. And they get stuck. And they make us walk funny. Because actually you're holding it right here. Because actually you're holding it right here. You're holding it right here. It's not meant to be in your system. So, and next time it comes up, and if it comes up again, and then next time it comes up, it might come up again, but it might be a little bit more like a, and then I have more space to hear what's happening, and I have more space to be with it. And I can say, I see you, sadness, this finite experience, this thing that rises and falls within my experience, within my universe, within me, right? My internal landscape. And I can build a relationship with it. one of the most powerful things I did for my, see, I did it again, my depression, for my experience of depression, was to imagine depression as my friend. My friend who is actually here to remind me to rest, who is actually here to remind me to not be so hard on myself, who is here to remind me that I'm not in alignment with my truth. And if I ignore that friend, they're going to keep coming back and back because they love me. They want this energy to be released. They want their freedom, right? So they come banging on the door again. Banging on the door again, banging on the door again, banging on the door again, until you listen. And if you don't listen, it manifests further and further and further into the physical body. Now, again, I'm not talking from this place of like, oh, I read this in a book somewhere and it sounded really cool. I am the person who thought I was a victim, who blamed other people for my situation, who weaponized my energy to engage in ways that would fortify my system temporarily and take from other people, as most of us are doing in our ignorance. And over time, eventually, it caused physical manifestations. And I tried to treat these physical manifestations the same way Western medicine says the West, we treat everything in the West. Just treat the symptoms. Just keep treating the symptoms. I now have a chronic condition that I'm unraveling. And I'm unraveling it through being present with myself, taking time for myself, using these tools every single day. B. Halen, yes, let me answer your question here really quick. Or let me answer it in just a sec. My cat just came back from the vet, so hold on a second. Please. Just a minute, honey. Ajna. Okay. You know what? Why don't... Can you close that? He's going to have to stay inside. Can you close that window? Hold on, guys. I'll be right back. I know, Aj. I know. Keeker. Keeker. Hey, handsome. Okay, so B. Halen, you asked about an on-off switch for your third eye, right? Or psychic connections. Let me see. So there are a lot of practices to clarify. Remember we did a couple weeks ago, we did a mudra to clear the third eye. Remember, I'm going to give this mudra again, but I'm going to say 1,000,000 times to you guys again and again and again, right? This mudra is only done for 2 minutes. Do not do this mudra for more than 2 minutes. Remember, we talk in this space about being gentle with ourselves, not pushing ourselves too hard. When you go into your internal space, you're working with guides or your psychic abilities. It does not behoove you. It does not benefit you to be forceful. Please take that to heart. Please do not use this mudra if you cannot be responsible for only doing it for 2 minutes. Set a timer. Only do it for 2 minutes. Okay? Okay. Okay, so the mudra, to clarify the third eye, is extend your right finger, your right index finger, sorry. Wrap your left palm around your right index finger. So you're just kind of grabbing your finger, right? No more than the weight of a nickel, no tension, just intention. Bring it here. And then bring your thumb to the outside bottom corner of your pointer fingernail. So it's just this little pressure point. And this part, you do create a little bit of tension. So right finger, left hand around, bring the thumb to touch the little corner right there, and then you can hold this here at your heart, or you can hold it directly up on your third eye. I actually like to rest my forehead on that spot right here. 2 minutes. No more than 2 minutes. This will help to clarify the third eye, specifically the third eye. Improve your ability to manage the communications that come through that space. I can give you about 1,000,000 different ways to work with the third eye, though, because there's 1,000,000 different ways, right? So that's one practice. If you do that practice, I encourage you to couple it with with an intense meditation, basically. So, okay, it's another intense thing, but you do this one for 2 minutes, and then when you're doing this with your eyes closed, you have your eyeballs turned up towards your third eye. You can do this by itself without turning your eyeballs up toward your third eye, but if you want to intensify it for those 2 minutes, you can do it with your eyeballs turned up. Don't do that too long either, because you can also strain the muscles in your eyes. We're not trying to hurt ourselves. We're not in the business of creating a battle within ourselves, right? We're learning to love ourselves. We're learning self-compassion. We're learning patience. We're learning gentleness. Evlo, you did it for more than 2 by accident once. It happens. It happens. But I want to make sure to drill in the message that it's really, really important that we are respectful, right, and mindful with this tool. If you don't feel like you can be that with this tool, then just turn your eyes up toward your third eye. Turn your eyes up towards your third eye with your eyes closed, or with them open if you'd like to, although it looks crazier when you're doing it with them open. And just breathe. Were you guys here for the visualization we did with the breath during meditation, during one of our meditations? Same thing here. Imagine the breath coming in one nose up to the third eye when you're looking up at the third eye, exhaling out the other side. Then inhale that side. So inhale right, exhale left, inhale left, exhale right. Inhale right, exhale left. You get the idea. While you're turning your vision up towards your third eye. Jacqueline, you use visuals in opening your third eye, using a picture of barn door opening. Nice. Yeah, there's visuals. You can go through tunnels, you can go through channels, that kind of stuff. Mimimsm. How do you do anything when you don't want anything? Why are you trying to do anything? Just be. Just be. And see what arises. Because if you're just being and hunger gurgles in your gut, then your stomach does want something, your body does want something, and so respond to what your body does want in a way that's healthy and supportive, and wait for the next impetus. How much pressure under the nail, Cassie? Let me think about that, because we say no more than the weight of a nickel, right, usually. So I would say gentle pressure, not a lot. You don't want to like cut your fingernail, you don't want to hurt yourself because you're right there on the cuticle. So enough that it's a pressure point. It's a pressure point. When it comes to protections with other psychic people, how do you set energetic boundaries? There are, again, a lot of tools for setting boundaries. Some people use Love you too, Cassie. Some people use external tools like stones, sigils, mantras, prayers, spells, things like that, right? We can do all that kind of stuff. We can fortify ourselves with magical herbs, and by wearing and keeping certain things, we can fortify our spaces, protect our spaces. I personally, my favorite practice is to create is to fortify the bubble basically around my energy body. So your energy body at its fullest is goes beyond your fingertips of your outstretched arms. And the outer layer of this can be like a protective sheath. I usually take those 5 minutes every morning and a few minutes every night, and I fortify that sheath. And I just do so by breathing into it. Sometimes I will do so by breathing from the heart. If you are somewhere random and feeling the need for connection, for protection, or feeling the need, or feeling like somebody's kind of energy is attacking you, my practice is always to close my eyes and blow that bubble directly out of my heart. So inhale to my heart, pull the breath through my nose and down into my heart space, and then as I exhale, I usually do a right. These are really effective. And also, you are all you need. Etc. The right hand is what you use for the third eye mudra for clarity. Do I have the energetic hygiene workshop available on Patreon? I don't. I didn't end up putting all the stuff together because I just ended up doing it here in lives. Remember, I was like, I don't want to. I feel like charging for the information is wrong. So I was like, forget it. I'm not going to do the workshop. We'll just talk about it. But I feel like people would really love it. I feel like folks would love a workshop, right? Because then you can guys just download it and use it and have it available and keep it with you. I know. Mimsum, can I offer you our mudra for this week? It's different. So our mudra for this week is called the Hridaya Mudra. It's the seal of the heart, or a heart seal or gesture of the heart. This is one that increases the flow of prana through the body. It balances the heart rate and the heart chakra. It oxygenates and detoxifies the blood. Increases the flow of prana through the whole system. Oxygenates the blood. Yeah. Okay. This is that mudra. And this one you can hold as long as you want to. That's why I'm giving you this one instead of this one. Okay? This is just for the third eye. But for Mimzim, my friend, here we go. Take your index finger on it's either hand, one or the other, or both. Take your index finger and curl it into the hammock of your thumb. Bring the pad of your thumb to the middle and the ring finger. So you've got a little cluster there. Keep your pinky extended. This is the air finger, so it quiets the air element in the body. The air element in the body is responsible for things like racing thoughts. It can be responsible for anxiety and like frantic and whatnot energies. The pinky is the water element. We have it flowing open channel to help empty out all the toxins in our system. We have the fire element of the thumb connecting to the two channels, the nadis, the solar and lunar energy in the body. So we energize the free flow of prana through our systems while keeping the water channel open so we can release toxins, and quieting the air element in the body so that all of this can be done in a settling way. This is the mudra for tranquility. Robin, you get nauseated when channeling, or you don't know what to call it, but you get nauseated. I would encourage you to, when you do whatever practice you're doing that's bringing you that feeling of nausea, when you feel it, stop your practice and ask your belly what's wrong. Ask your belly what it has to say. You can communicate with every part of your system, everything that happens inside of here, you can communicate with. So next time that happens, instead of pushing through, I don't know if you do or not, instead of pushing through, honor that emotion, honor that feeling. There might be something there that's either preventing you from connecting completely, or it's something that's warning you and telling you that there's something else you should be doing. So it's really important when we get these feelings like that we stop and we pay attention to them, especially when we're doing something like channeling or meditating or working on this internal space. Beth, if your pinky doesn't go straight like that, then that's okay. Do the best that you can. Remember, get to honor where you are. Do the best that you can with your mudra. Are you ready to come out of here, sir? Kika. So the other thing, watch out, Ajna. Watch out. Are you okay, kitten? Ajna. No, you're gonna have to stay here. Hey, kitty cat, kitty cat, kitty cat. He's gonna try to get out. Okay. I'm gonna leave him inside the house. He's not gonna go out because he just got back from the vet. But thank you. So we were talking about protection, right? And I want to remind everybody, people can only, that density energy, that low density energy can really only reach you if you choose to engage with the low density energy. You have to give permission. So the most powerful way that we protect our systems is to not give permission to that dense energy. The more we engage on dense energy inside of ourselves, the more likely we are to call it in to our world. So one of my favorite ways to immediately clarify the vibration of my system, to raise it out of that dense energy, is to use what's called Brahmari Pranayama. Like I said, I have a ton of tools for connecting and aligning and doing all these things, right? So we could just go on for hours, I'm sure. Brahmari Pranayama. There's a couple different ways that I've seen it done. I learned it this particular way, and this is the way that I'm going to continue teaching it. If there's something uncomfortable about it for you, we can always modify. But, Gigi, my favorite. Yes, Beth. Absolutely. I love you so much. Okay. So Brahmari Pranayama is a sensory deprivation sort of pranayama experience. If you feel uncomfortable doing so, what are you doing? Sir, I am not here to have this conversation, and I definitely, sir, Elilen, stop and look at me. I am not gonna try to get between you being rude to the animals while I'm working. You have things to do, I'm sure you do, yes? Okay. Give him time to be quiet and heal. Can you please go do those things? Sir, I'm not amused. We've had several discussions this week about interruptions and about skipping your responsibilities because I'm sitting here working. Thank you. Shut it quickly so the cat doesn't come out. Love you. Okay, Brahmari. Thank you, guys. Brahmari Pranayama. Brahmari Pranayama is done like so. Bring your pinkies to the corners of your mouth. Make yourself smile. No, it's not part of Brahmani. That's not part of Brahmari Pranayama, but just for shenanigans. There you go. Okay. Pinkies to the corner of your mouth, resting gently on the corners of your mouth. We're not creating tension here. Resting gently on the corners of your mouth. Ring fingers come up to the corners of your nostrils, sides of your nose. Again, no pressure. Don't close your nose like this. We're not doing this. Middle fingers come to rest on the eyelashes of your closed eyes. So if you close your eyes, then you'll place the middle fingers over top of your eyelashes. You will place your index finger just at the top of your eyeball, right where the brow bone is, just below the brow bone. Now, Your arms will stay in this practice. The only thing that changes is that we take a deep breath in. Don't do it this time, but take a deep breath in, and then we close our ears and exhale with one long hum, like so. And then you open your ears to inhale again, close the ears to exhale and hum. Open the ears to exhale again, close the ears to exhale and thumb. You can, you can just do it with your thumbs, but it helps with the other points to do it that way. So the intention in this practice is to get yourself a nice steady hum all the way through. As soon as it starts to kind of falter and shake at the end, drop the hum, take another inhale, and do it again. Your intention with long-term practice here is to get a nice steady resonant hum, something that echoes through you. A work sim, I started honking with my hum. Nice. You forgot about this one. Yes. So this is one of my favorite emergency. There's two things I do in an emergency. If I feel somebody's energy fucking coming all over the place, attacking me, sort of deal, right? That came out weird. Okay. Is Brahmari breath. Brahmari breath, because it immediately raises your vibration. Do it just a couple of times and you're going to feel that through your entire system. And the other one is to expand my bubble. If I know I'm going into a situation where I might be around denser energies, or I know that there's going to be somebody there that I don't want to interact with or whatnot, right? Like, I'm just going to fortify my bubble, and I'm going to feel confident in the fact that this is my protective layer. You're welcome, B. Helen. My pleasure. Thank you for all the questions. Thank you for asking me for all the things. Do you see how excited my system gets? My system's like, oh yeah, like I got a bunch of... It's that ego, right? This ego character was doing other things with her energy, with our time, until I gave her permission to just share with everybody what this was. I was trying to keep her behind a pay gate and say, no, if you want the information, if you want to talk to her, you got to pay. And then the money mindset folks were like, no, it's not just they got to pay anything. They got to pay top fucking thousands of dollars just to talk to your freely chatting information gal. It's like, it feels so wrong. Alexandra, Alex, Brahmari Pranayama is beautiful. Thank you. You're very welcome. Very welcome. I'm lightheaded, but not bad. Yeah, be mindful. It can make you lightheaded. So if you do it, like, don't do it repeatedly. I don't teach a lot of like the holotropic, psychotropic sort of like breath work that gets you into those sorts of states in here, because it's, for me, it's just a judgment on me. For me, it feels irresponsible to share those tools without offering some more guidance and time. Again, not a judgment on what other people share. If they feel confident in the way that they share it, I'm grateful that they do share those things. However, in this space, we are practicing being gentle and kind and patient with ourselves. Sorry, dog. We need to give him time to relax by himself for a little bit. In this space, we're learning to sometimes there's like 16 answers. In this space, we're learning to, yes, there's a lot of things we're learning to do in this space. But ultimately, mindfulness is the exploration of deeper and deeper layers of subtlety. Thank you guys for the gifts. B. Halen, you experience worry about taking space, but I also hype up on sharing and totally appreciate that. Yeah. And again, you know, I sometimes people will say, oh, I'm sorry, I'm asking too many questions. There's no such thing as too many questions. I just might not be able to get to all of them, right? And again, like I said, for anybody who's not already in the Discord, if you guys like this content, want to know more, want to explore more, want me to answer personal questions for you and whatnot, we can do that in the Discord space. That's our CAYA community space. It's our little safe container for exploration of all this. But it is merely the courtyard around the inner temple of the CAYA community. And the inner temple of the CAYA community starts with the group coaching and then evolves into personal coaching. And that is entirely up to you when you're ready, if you want. I am not here to nickel and dime anybody. I'm not here to ask for, and honestly, I'm not here to ask for anything except for your questions. Give me your questions. And if you feel inspired to support me with a one-time donation, I am grateful. Because it helps keep our bills paid. And if you feel inspired to work one-on-one with me, I have limited spots available, but there are some spots still available for that. Then I can't wait to walk this journey with you, right? There's all of these different ways that we can connect without it having to be an energetic battle. That's oftentimes what we're doing, right? Phoenix! You are the page I needed to find. Yay! How do I join the community? Okay, so to join the community, the link in my bio is for the Linktree. You can go to Linktree /move with change. That I move with change in all the places you hang out. Cassie Marie, you tried to Discord and it banned you? That's awful. No, send me a message. Send me a message. Fuck, I don't know where. Send me a message at least in here and we'll try to get you in there, okay? I'll get you in there. And then I'll give you an email address and we'll chat. We'll get you in there. I know some people are having trouble getting in because it makes me have the CAPTCHA thing on there to get in, and I know that it's not working for everybody, but I can't seem to take it off. So, Linktree, Move with Change. I am Move with Change in all the places you hang out. If you would like to see me more or see me live somewhere else, please go follow me everywhere else that you hang out. TikTok has been actively hiding my content, taking down my content, fudging my analytics, and all sorts of stuff. So I don't know how long TikTok is going to allow me to continue to share information for free. I think they want me to charge for it, and therefore I'm not, yeah. So and this is literally the stuff that gives you your personal power back. This is the stuff that gives you your personal autonomy back, which is not what the powers that be want. They want you to be ignorant and controlled and stay willfully ignorant. The powers that be can harvest your time and attention and your resources much, much better if you don't fight back about it. Much, much better if you don't even realize it's happening. Much, much better if you feel like even if you realize it's happening, there's nothing you can do about it. I'm here to tell you there's absolutely something you can do about it, and if there's something you can start doing like today to get yourself out of that. Do you guys see how adorable my cat and dog are? Can you guys see? Elila, in just a second. He just came back from the vet. My cat just came back from the vet, and my dog is over there licking his head. Can you guys see him? Oh, you're so sweet. And yes, follow me on YouTube too. That's where replays go. Replays will stay up for a week or longer if I forget to put them in the archive. I do have a membership that has archived all my classes available. All that's available through Linktree and Patreon and Discord and all the places. Phoenix, I've been calling my power back for days now, and here you are. Yes! Really, like the big message I got 3 years ago was that it was finally time to just start putting the information out. I had been waiting most of my life, do what you love and the money will come. Well, I wanted to sit underneath it. I wanted to like sit beneath a tree and talk to people about cool shit, right? And I'm like, you can't make a career doing that. Oh, look. Actually, you can. And since I've started doing this, specific in the last year, it's been like the floodgates are open. And I'm finding, nearly 10,000 people now following this account. It's only been open for 2 years, the account itself. I've only been teaching online for about a year. Teaching. Yeah. That's cool. It's really fucking amazing. And I'm really fucking excited for what's available for the collective. Holly, this is definitely the first time I've been able to watch a live for more than like 30 seconds. I struggle with live sometimes too, because I'm like, what are we doing in here? He just assumed it was a setting. Hey, Cappy, how are you? Chrissy, you just found me today too. Yay! I love you guys. Cassie, I'm grateful for you too. Cassie says, I felt so alone on my journey. Then here you are. I had the same experience for many, many years. And the truth is that there is part of our journey that we have to do alone. But in my meditations and my conversations, I have seen very, very clearly that we are no longer on our own. We need to do the collective work now. It's time to do the collective work, and we have to learn the tools to do the collective work. We have to be willing to put down our armor, put down our swords, put down our weapons, and be vulnerable and be patient with ourselves and with each other. And it's going to feel radical. It's going to feel like totally something crazy and new. I promise you, when you feel justified in being angry and then tell yourself, wait, let's see what happens if I don't get angry. Let's just see. It feels fucking weird. Beth, the whole community you have growing here is just amazing though too. I love you guys so much, and it was completely unexpected. Again, I'm so grateful for the reflection. Right? For a long time, I tried to put this stuff out there, tried to teach, tried to talk to people about it, and I just kept getting like shut down, pushed away, smacked in the face. Nobody wanted to talk about it. It was a bunch of bullshit, woo-woo, whatnot, nonsense, right? And then, like I said, 3 years ago, the universe said, go. What? Go. No, but I need, no. You are all you need. Go. Open. Go. Really? Okay, go. 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 Okay, go. Go. Going. And in the going, all of this manifested. In the accepting of what I felt to be true and stopping arguing with myself about it being true or not, or right or wrong. So much more is manifested for us that is aligned with our truth when we allow it to occur, rather than when we pretend like we're tiny little gods and spend all of our time trying to fight the universe from our little ignorant seats. B. Halen, good. Part-time, yay! Beth, whatever energy storm is happening right now is definitely keeping me feeling some things. We can always remember, let's macrocosm that. Remember that your experience is also mirrored outside in the world, and the world is also being mirrored inside of you, right? Feel the things. Let them rise and fall. Sometimes when we wake up with a bad day, it's okay to let some of it go and say, it's not all mine. I'm part of an ocean, and the temperature is rising. Ascension symptoms. I am part of an ocean, and the temperature is rising. One drop at a time is vibrating faster and faster and faster and faster. And some of the drops have been vibrating faster for longer, and some of the drops are about to learn how to do that. But we are all collectively doing this together. The whole ocean does not heat up, does not raise level, unless all of the drops are involved. So fucking cut the divisive shit out. Cut the you, me, him or her, better, worse, more, nor, like, you are exactly where you need to be at exactly the right time. Tonight, when you go to bed, I want you to go walking around your house. Last thing you do before you get in bed, I want you to go walk around your house and sneak around, creep around. Look at every little corner, every little thing, every little, hey, leave him alone, come on. Oh, kitten. Every little corner, every little thing, all around, everywhere. Observe every little thing you can. Use all your senses. Take it in, take it in, take it in. And as you go around, I want you to tell yourself, I want you to cultivate this excitement like it's Christmas morning. I want you to cultivate the excitement like tomorrow is the absolute best day of your life, and you know it's coming. And I want you to say to yourself over and over and over, everything is exactly as it needs to be. Everything is exactly as it needs to be. Everything is exactly, oh my God, I'm so excited. Everything is exactly how it needs to be. Oh my gosh, there's not a single thing out of place. Not a single thing out of place. Everything is exactly where it needs to be. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Tomorrow's going to be here. Because that's the truth. as messy, as ugly, as difficult, as whatever that life can be, it is exactly where it needs to be. Exactly when it needs to be. You are imperative to the collective. You wouldn't be here if the universe didn't need your energy. And remember that there's all different kinds of energies. I love you too, April. There's all different kinds of energies. So it can be true that two completely opposite believing different paradoxes are true. We are equally valuable, no matter where we're from, who we are, what we look like. Drop the divisive, oh, there's only 144 people who are going to raise the collective vibration. There's 144 frequencies, and we are all split like fractals from the whole. We are all important. You wouldn't look at a rainbow and say, oh, well, you don't really need the color red. No, you recognize that a rainbow happens because light fractals and turns into all the different colors. Therefore, every person is important because the collective, he keeps walking on the computer, trying to get out the window, because the collective is the pure light. Because all is divinity. Everything in existence is the ocean that is the divinity. And we live in the illusion of fractured light. What happens when you put light through a prism? It turns into different colors. Humanity, creation, all of creation. And what are those different colors? Wavelengths. We can match the wavelengths of colors and the wavelengths of sounds. And we recognize those wavelengths occur everywhere in creation. Yes, regal poison. Oh, I love the rainbow analogy because the different shades are within one color. The greatest misconception, the greatest manipulation is that we have been taught that we are separate, isolated, and somebody is better than somebody else. You're not. And never have been, honestly. It's just the experience. But we are at a point now where enough, right? Have you guys heard of the 100th monkey theory? It's this idea that there was an experiment done. Bill, do we really need teal? Yes, we need teal. Just because you don't like teal. Teal is not for you, Bill, and that's okay. You can hang out in the red or the purple or wherever it is you would like to hang out, right? Without judging the teal. Competitive energies are so blinding to the depth of existence, exactly. And that's the energy that everything has been in. Ajna, leave him alone. Ajna, out. Out. It's an emergency? Is somebody bleeding? Did you break a leg? No?
Where's my book?
Not an emergency. Love you. Love you. Love you. I know. I'll be off here in just a few minutes. Kelsey, I'm feeling very isolated, like I repel people even though I try to send so much goodness around me. Okay, so as we collectively evolve, as this frequency is raising and this shift is happening, we're all going to naturally start raising our frequency. We're going to be experiencing ascension symptoms. Like these are very real things that are happening from one, just having different experiences to suddenly things in your life that were normal and habitual and fine and were working just fine for a while are stopping working. Relationships you had before are falling apart. Jobs are no longer working. You're super fucking exhausted when you continue in the same habits. Why? All of these are intended to redirect you towards your truth. And the further away that you traveled from your truth, the more you've got to get back, which is fine. What's my truth? What's my purpose? What's my fate and destiny? Are we talking about that kind of dogmatic stuff? No. I'm talking about the fact that you are a being that emits a frequency. And the frequency resonates with certain patterns in the universe. Just like when you pluck two strings on a guitar, two of them, they can sound off and off and off until you get the two of them that resonate together. So if you're feeling isolated and you're feeling like you're repelling people, work on aligning your energy so you make sure you're not repelling the people that are actually supposed to be in your life, right? And trust that as you align your system, everything you need is actually going to come to you. This whole running outside of myself to find the things is exactly the thing that leads me away from home to in myself. The most powerful way to protect myself is to raise my vibration. The most powerful way to manifest is to resonate at my truth. What does my truth look like? I have to explore my inner landscape to figure it out. Things like nausea, headaches, blurred vision, ringing in ears, excess thirst or hunger, but also lack of them too can do it. Emotional upheaval, depression, anxiety, things like that. If you weren't very energetically sensitive before, and then this shift is bringing you into that energy space, you may be feeling a whole lot more nausea and headaches and stuff because your energy is communicating with you more now. Hey guys. Yes, Alex, I wanted to answer that. Yeah, sounds about right. Kathy, my energy just blew up my battery in my car. Are we doing breathing exercises today? This was one of the funny things about my mother. My mother blew lights often. And yeah. I tend to as well, but I learned how to manage my energy. What I recognized, she taught me energy work, right? She taught me our family lineage, and what I realized in doing my own practice and learning to manage mine was that she didn't manage hers very well. She had the flow of prana, but that shit was like a magician, a young magician that would go like all over the place, and it would hit me or hit others or hit the lights, and fuck that, yeah, crazy, right? To live with that kind of energy happening. Are we doing a breathing exercise? Cappy, I was wondering where you were at the very beginning of class because I was going to do Kapalabhati. Okay, I wanted to get back. Sorry, I'm just missing some of these. You asked if I could speak more about the sense and competitive energy you can tend to feel in your own body and mind. Dense and competitive energy. Okay, so the dense and competitive energy makes you afraid to go inward. Shadow work means facing our shadow. Shadow work means recognizing that if I am standing in the light, then I am going to cast a shadow, and it is intrinsically part of me. Oftentimes, the energies we call dense or scary or difficult within us, the ones that we're fearful of and don't want to look at, are energy that's being misdirected within our systems. Remember how we were talking earlier about these are finite systems, and our emotions and things that happen are finite experiences, but we tend to store them energetically in the body and try to keep them, and then they fester and they rot within the system. Imagine the little kid, playful, silly, loud part of yourself that was told to shut the fuck up and sit down and quit being so loud. Imagine if you took that part of yourself and you said, okay, yeah, maybe it wasn't safe. Maybe you got, hit for it or something like that. Maybe you got really scared when people got upset with you or something, or you felt really shameful. So you put that away, you tuck it away, you hide it away within yourself. And whenever the other kids prompt you to be silly and loud, and that part wants to come out, you tell it no, and you put it back down. And as you grow older, it becomes a habitual, it's easy. Your system doesn't even think about it. When the time for play and silliness comes, your system just doesn't respond. No. I don't do that. That part of you, that energy, that playful, curious, bubbly childhood energy is imperative to the entire system. So by not allowing it to express itself, which we don't do on purpose, so don't shame yourself or guilt yourself about it, by it not being able to express itself the way that nature intended it to, it gets stuck in the system. And it gets darker and darker and heavier and denser as it tries to get the fuck out of your system. Or it sits in there and festers until you go and look at it and find a demon instead. Can you imagine if you were that little playful whatever and someone locked you away for however many years old you are since you last let that part of you out? So we cultivate compassion, Alex. I look at those dense, dark, scary things within me and I ask myself, what hurt them so bad? What happened to make them so scared, so angry? And what can I do to make it right? And I find when I come to those energies in that way, in a surrender, in a, I'm sorry, I wasn't here before, but I am now. In a, I forgive you for being scary. Can you forgive me for being gone and being ignorant? When we meet those parts of ourselves with compassion, it doesn't pack as much of a punch. They don't pack as much of a punch because you're already open and flexible and relaxed. It is when we show up with ready to fight that we end up getting a fight. Magical gnome, you break electronic device when you're stressed, excited, overwhelmed. No one ever believes you. It's true. Like I said, I grew up with a mother who did it, and nobody believed me either. And then I started doing it, and then I was like, "Fuck! I gotta control my energy. I gotta figure out how to manage this stuff better." B. Halen. When you get really excited, lights can flicker. You always think it's the universe laughing at you. I don't know if you've ever heard me say it, but in my exploration of divinity and of the cosmos within and without, one of the most beautiful things I have ever heard was what sounds like laughter. Like when you get down into these subtle layers of everywhere and nowhere at the same time. The universe is laughing. And I'm pretty sure it's the constant background noise. It is the echo of the entire universe's laughter. Happy Wednesday, Deja. How are you? Cheese puffer? Where did the half of my hair go? It's over here. Watch. See? There. There you go. There it is. Oh, thank you guys, Memzim, for bringing me back. 100th Monkey Theory. 100th Monkey Theory, when we were talking about ascension. Thank you. Gosh. 100th Monkey Theory. When we teach, it was an experiment that was done with this group of monkeys, and they taught the monkeys a new skill. And it took quite a little while for this, the monkey taught the other monkey, it was a useful skill. They needed it anyway. They were quick, one or two were quick to learn it, right? But teaching the other ones took time, and not all the other ones were really interested in it. But they noticed something that happened, is there was a tipping point, and they could repeat this experiment again and again and again. In a group, there is a tipping point where enough of the individuals within that group acquire the information, and then it suddenly becomes one both easier or simply ingrained in the collective as truth. This is the collective consciousness. Ascension, right? As we are all that temperature, we were talking about the temperature of the ocean heating up. As each individual drop in the ocean raises its temperature, as each individual frequency gets higher and higher and the whole ocean is warming up, there's a tipping point at which the ocean itself can be, oh look, I can measure that this ocean is all warmer. Yeah. Alex, your little girl exploited and the trauma is definitely festered. Take extra time. Alex, let me give you a practice that I used early on in my work. That was not a meditation. It was not any. It wasn't any sort of. I didn't have any of those other tools yet, and honestly, I didn't know how to meditate. Right. So this tool that I use for especially the scarier stuff, but usually you can use it for absolutely anything. Um, I used it to talk to the pain in my uterus and discovered some really interesting things actually about that pain. And changed my experience of the pain as well. So this is a two-handed practice. Grab two pens or pencils or whatever medium you would like to write with. Use your dominant hand to ask questions. This is you talking with your dominant hand. You're the one, okay, this situation, what is going on? I'm feeling stressed about this, or this little kid part of myself, or this negative dense energy, wherever you're talking about. Free flow, write and write and write. Don't even worry about grammar. Don't worry about how it looks. Just free flow the questions, the conversation you want to have. Open the mind and let it just come out through the pen, yeah? As soon as you hear a response, and you will, use your non-dominant hand to write that response. What does it do? It slows you down. It stops this crazy flow, and you start to develop the habit of listening and paying attention to when that response comes up. If you want to have communion with the other parts of yourself, particularly like pains or memories or thoughts or characters or whatnot, or I've had conversations with my body parts, so feel free to use that for anybody you want to have a conversation with, anything you want to have a conversation with, any even person in the future, in the past, whatnot. Right hand dominant, free flow consciousness, stream of consciousness. Only use your non-dominant to respond, and take your time to write the whole response out. Marion, hello, my friend. Yes, Alex, you're very welcome. And again, that works for any kind of internal communication with self. Ajna, come here, please, dog. Come here. I know you're concerned. Leave him alone. Kiker. Ajna! Sir. There you go. Come here. You have to stay down there. Thank you. Okay. Monica, do you need to meditate first? Nope. That is a practice that I used well before I learned how to meditate. Well before I learned any mantras, when I was still figuring out how to move energy. And that was even before I really developed the characters on my pirate ship. That was early internal family systems practice. The Mew Mews and the Woof Woofs are acting up. The Mew Mew just got back from the vet, and so he needs to be left alone, and the Woof Woof wants to sniff because he likes cat butt. What a dog. So I gotta keep them separate. Okay, my friends, I am going to go ahead and go. I am going to make myself some food and go manage my energy in my space. And tonight is group coaching. If you are a member, a level 2 member, you can get group coaching tonight at 4 o'clock Pacific time. If you would like to explore this stuff further, talk more, hang out more, come into our Discord. The link is in my bio. I'm at Move the Change on Linktree, on Patreon, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok, on Clapper, on X, on all the fucking places. I am Move the Change everywhere you hang out. So do me a favor and give me a follow wherever it is that you hang out. TikTok might not always be here for all of us, so I always like to know where most of the folks are, right? Again, if you have any questions, reach out to me. If you want any links directly to something, the Discord or to the donation jar or to memberships or to whatever, send me a message and I can send you a link. If you have any trouble getting the Discord, let me know. Cassie, I hope to speak to you soon about getting you in there. And are there any things? There's always things to say. There's always things to... I feel like there should be a list at the end when I'm closing out each of these sessions. Like, okay, make sure we hit all the markers on the head and whatnot. But really, it's just Keep showing up. Give yourself at least 5 minutes every day. Take the tools, practice them, ask questions about them. If they work for you, keep them. If they don't, give them away. Maybe they'll work for somebody else. As always, remember that you are exactly where you need to be. You wouldn't be here if the universe didn't need you. And at every moment, in every moment, universal life force, that divine prana, is flowing through the path of least resistance to bring you to your highest good in every single moment. Most of the times what we need to do is just get out of the way. Is just learn to float. Learn to ride the waves. I love you. Really. All of you. The good, the bad, the ugly, the crazy, the calm, the sweet, the terrible. I love you. Now go enjoy your Wednesday. All right. See you later, Instagram. See you later, YouTube.